keep it playing while some choose to play it safe. Or check the resume, it's risky business in the AA. And I've been witness to this history ever since the 10th grade. We went from rock and brace to 10th phase. I twist my A to the side just for style. Or throw on the Gucci bucket with the fly super fly. Wow, the Southern private known to shut it down. It ain't so country though, nigga, this ain't no Goma pal. It's all this slaughter. I keep my shit cooked to altar and altar to satisfy my people in Georgia and cross the border. And across the border, the essays are getting smarter. They got flour for tortillas and lettuce for enchiladas. If you follow wink, wink, no doubt we don't speak. In the blink, them folks can have you sleeping in the clink.
And we are live. Welcome to the Renegade podcast. I'm your host, the Dashing Rogue, and with my frequent sidekick, Artistic Layman.
I am Darkwing Duck, and I am totally bored out of my skull.
All right, how are you guys doing? Where the hell is it? I'm looking for the... Give me 1 second. I'm getting a little bit of echo here. Give me 1 second. Okay, there it is. All right. All righty. How is everyone doing?
Doing good. How about you?
Welcome, Gainston. Doing very well. We have a very big show tonight. What the hell is the freaking... There's the extra... That. There we go. That's good. We're all good now. All righty. A few more people join in. Welcome, everyone. Ping, welcome. Pong, I should say. Pong, Gumston. Pong. Yep. So, what do we got today? Well, apparently we have a lot to talk about. I guess we should talk about the hot off the press issue. Apparently, Jacky's a cuck.
Jackie?
Jack Murphy's a cuck. He's a
Uh-huh.
cuck. Yeah, and I have
you
the
know
receipts.
this how...
I got the receipts.
Oh,
because
okay.
That's how this works. This is how this works. So let me pull up the receipts, and we are going to read from his personal diary.
Oh, from
JackMurphyLive.com,
no less.
Yep. Again, and I want people to understand this. I've talked about it before. What I've learned from the whole great meme war of the great meme war is we can't trust any leaders. The leaders can't be trusted. You know, don't expect Gavin McInnes or Gavin Newsom or you know, Lauren Chin or Lauren Southern to come and save you. You have to save yourself. So this is from JackMurphyLive.com.
Uh-huh.
I want you to read.
Cultivating erotic energy from a surprising source, Jack Murphy, 2015.
Yeah, 15. So this is right around the time of Jack Murphy basically, you know, figuring out if he was going to join. Let's see, this is when was Trump elected? 2016, I believe?
So 1 year later.
1 year later, right? This is right around the time when people are starting to get in their trenches and figure out what the fuck is going to happen. So this is right when, like, Aeneas Sarkeesian and all of them were basically, you know, still a thing, still a twinkle in people's eyes. But he's blocking people now. You can't even talk to the motherfucker online anymore. He literally is.
So this is the last year of the Obama era.
Yeah.
And what else was going on around that time?
Well, basically, we were right at it was the beginning of the Great Meme War 1. You know, so we were all getting in our trenches and getting ready to, you know, go storm the SGW, right? So, cultivating erotic energy from a surprising source. Today, I sent my adoring, hot, young girlfriend of 2 years to have sex with a stranger from Tinder. Lovely. He's literally, again, this is his site. This is archived. Thank you for those who archive this, because this compromat is fucking awesome. Like, Luke, I sent you a picture. Can you put it on the screen, please? I actually made little arts and crafts. There we go. Once you start hanging out with the chaos deities and shit, you never go back. And this is what happens to you. Chaos corruption is a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real motherfucking thing. Now, let me pull this up for you also. So, let's see. Okay, so Tinder. She currently is at his apartment, checked in with me via text, and presumably sucking and fucking her way to a good time. I'm alone writing. Couldn't be happier. Oh, sure. Space, couldn't be happier. Now, before you write me off as another salon.com freak who wants to be a cuckold or some spineless beta under male, hear me out. This has been a long road. My manhood is intact and my dick is hard. I'm almost 40. Years ago, my divorce from my blue-pilled marriage, I found Rossi, Rushvi, and eventually the rational male. Along the way, I made friends with Cernadich, and we come up together in the game. I've learned to practice Tantra and various elements of BDSM lifestyle and just about every angle, pun intended, for male/female relations. Now, this is where we get into the whole chaos corruption thing. Again, I didn't hate Jack Murphy. I was one of the few people who said, Jack, you're hanging out with that fucking Dugan. Stay the hell away from him. But now I'm starting to think to myself, you were a fucking degenerate the whole time. You were going to stab the God Emperor at the end of the day, you motherfucker. You were going to stab him in the back. And here's why. What is Tantra? You're going to read this part off, Luke.
Let's see. Oh.
Here you go. This is
the definition. I looked up the definition of Tantra, but you want me to continue with the article?
You could continue with the article if you want.
Let's see. Oh, actually, I'll look up Tantra right here. You sent me.
Yeah, right. Just send it to you. So Tantra. What is Tantra?
Tantra are the...
Go ahead. Go on.
Are the extrinsic traditions of Hinduism and Buddhism that developed in India from the middle of the 1st century. The term Tantra in Indian tradition means the systemic broadening applicable to, quote, text, theory, system, method, instructional technique, and practice. A key feature of these traditions is the use of mantras, thus are commonly referred to as mantra mangra, Hinduism, Starting in the early centuries, Common Era newly revealed Tantras revealed Vishnuism, so basically it's Middle Eastern stuff.
Yeah, it's basically New Age bullshit. But let me see if I can find it here from American Pie. I know American Pie did. Here we go. Play this. I don't know if you can. This is exactly what Tantra is. Tantric. What the fuck is Tantric? Let Stifler tell you what's what.
Tantric? What the fuck is Tantric? Tantric? What the fuck is Tantric?
Oh, sorry about that. but Tantric basically is this idea that you can control your chi and your energies, and then you can have sex for like hours on end. So basically, you're using magic to get your rocks off. Yeah. So like the ritual yoga. Here it goes. Sex and eroticism. While Tantra involves a wide range of ideas and practices which are not always of a sexual nature, Flood and Paradox both note that in the West, Tantra is most often taught as a kind of ritualized sex or spiritualized yogic sexuality. According to the Paduk, this is a misunderstanding. For though the place of sex in Tantra is ideologically essential, it is not always in action and ritual. Paradox further notes that while sexual practices do exist and were used in certain tantric groups, they lost their prevalence when Tantra spread to other larger social groups. In the tantric tradition, which do you use sex as part of the spiritual practice? This refers mainly to the kalalas. It's a Hindu term, and also Tibetan Buddhism. Sex and desire are often seen as a means of transcendence that is used to reach the absolute. Thus, sex and desire are not seen as ends in themselves, but because these practices transgress orthodox Hindu ideas of ritual purity, they are often given Tantra a bad image in India. So yeah, basically this guy was a sex magic guy. He was into that shit. Isn't that wonderful? Triple X says, is the Jewish Jim Goad? Is it that? No, it's not Jewish Jim Goad. That is how she say it, Jack Murphy or Jacky the Red, as I like to call him. Yep. Oh yeah, that's what he was into. He was into that shit, right?
Yeah, that was back in the 90s. Like this was like if you had access to independent film channels, this was like a big focus in entertainment.
Yeah, they all want to get the next big orgasm. Now, there's a guy called The Better Bachelor. I was watching his channel about this whole thing because that's where I got it from, right? He basically said that Jack Murphy burnt out his like nervous system. He burnt it out. He basically was so deep into pleasure that he burnt it out. He basically had that what I would call the encounter with Slanesh, or she who thirsts. So I'm going to go back to reading this. From experience and effort and education, I've become an expert. I learned over time my natural disposition to be dominant. For submissive women, I'm practically the ideal. So again, we're immediately starting with the assumption that women have to be submissive, that they can't push back. He has to be dominant. So basically, he has to win by default, or else he won't win. He won't have any trouble with women. With women. I have had, this is the part that got me a little bit scared. I've had sex slaves, little girls, and yeah, it says little girls here, and tied them up. Feminists seek me out to fuck them like the patriarchy.
And for those who don't know, this particular line is links to an article called Feminists Need Rape.
Yeah. And yet, I've just sent my 15-year junior girlfriend to bang Matt from Tinder. Why? Years of being in a dead marriage, sexless, undesired, unappreciated, made me question myself. Made me question my manliness. It made me question my worth. I was emasculated. So, again, the temptations of the pleasure prince, they exist for everybody. Even Chad alpha males, apparently, who are so dominant that they need submissive women to be submissive. See, you know, I've talked to you before, and we've had conversations about, like, I think it was Jolly Heretic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've oftentimes said that a lot of these guys, they just want to get laid. And they're going to, and whether it be the Anthony Fauci route where they make appeals to authorities, say, date me, I have a higher IQ. I'm like, well, if you have a higher IQ, why aren't you successful? Why aren't you figuring it out? Why do you need someone else to come in and chill for you? Right? Because that's, like, a lot of these guys, they want to get laid. They have the potential. They just won't do it. Why won't they do it? Well, they won't do it because at the end of the day, they're not as confident as they say they are. They're not. You know, honestly, I think they're just they're scared little kids just like everybody else. And they don't want to admit it. He was emasculated. That's what he says. Now, again, he's blocking people on Twitter now because this is out there. People on all over the manosphere are basically hunting this motherfucker down.
Yeah, I mean, for obvious reasons. But it's really weird, like, I mean, because this all goes back to an interview he had when he just had, like, a couple days ago, I think, where someone mentioned this article and he had a fit about it.
He spurged out. He had a fucking spurg out. And the reason he had a spurg out is because this makes him look weak. You know, the times have changed. It used to be you were a progressive. If you were so awesome, you get to have like 5 or 6 fucking women. Oh, it's awesome. You're so kind. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy, we can't trust all those who join us on the Trump train. Okay, some of those are actually slashy demons in this regard. Okay, some of them are cornflakes. Play this clip, Luke.
Obsession, a sin, a source of vibrant emotion, whose very ripples have created the Prince of Pleasure, the Lord of Excess, Slanesh within the warp. Have you not suffered the vice of obsession? Perhaps you got carried away. You just wanted to perform better. You wanted to feel better. Perhaps you wanted to be perceived in a better light. It is when this journey for improvement is taken to unhealthy heights that it empowers the dark god Slanesh,
Pause it.
a patron of pleasure.
That's exactly what happened to him. He wanted to improve. He could not do this on his own. So he had to go search for other means. And this is where we get into the whole new agey hippie shit, where he gets into tantric. Again, there's his problem right there. What do you think happened first, Tantra or BDSM? Because BDSM is, again, I might have to get Beckloff in here. If Beckloff wants to come on, you could come on, man. We could talk about this because I guarantee you, this type of, like, this may have been Beckloff if he didn't find Christ. No, real talk. I mean, like, as a Catholic, I have to tell you guys, sex is for marriage and is for procreation, right? But then they have the people from the fucking Middle East and the people from like the Far East who say, oh, no, we can experience the divine through sex. And oh, you can have sex and we'll make it so that you can't come. You know, we'll make it so that you don't lose your masculine energies and shit. So I'm going to continue reading. I've learned, okay, let's see. I was emasculated, he says. In couples therapy, the 60-year-old shriveled arbiter proclaimed my sexual urges unreasonable, that my wife had no obligation nor a passing concern for the existential angst my unrequited sexual energy was creating. I was dying. My personal Maslow unmet. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is referring to, which, by the way, is fucking based in this regard. Literally in this regard. The guy is literally wanting to have sex, and it is a base desire that is not being met. And I'll be frank with you, you know, you either grab the goat by the horns or you grow the horns and become the goat. One of the two. And it turns out he decided to become the goat. Because he's the greatest of all kind, don't you know? So,
ultimately divorced.
But they didn't. Yeah, he is
and
divorced.
Subsequently, rape followed.
But they didn't care. Ultimately, divorce and subsequent rape followed.
What
from
was that
disorder.
from?
Oh, that was from his. That is from his book. That is from the Post. I'm reading still from the Post. From that disorder, my new persona evolved. I made it a goal to become objectified. Was that the healthiest conception? Maybe not. But my ego demanded it for survival. I had to become reaffirmed sexually, and that's what it is. He had to be. He couldn't just handle the fact he had a wife, he had kids, and you know, again, what type of sick? Like, does this guy have like a porn addiction or something? Because you know, people talk about how like women like the '90s, they used to talk about how horrible porn is, and a lot of it is bad because a lot of these women, again, they're fucked up in the head. The guys are fucked up in the head, and again, you don't know what's going on when they cut the porn on the film. You don't on the film reel. You don't know how long it's been. You have no idea how long that guy held a hard on. You have no idea. You don't know how long between the scenes were. You have no idea. That being said, we're going to continue.
And something I always think about in regards to pornography, imagine how the set smells.
Oh, dude. Oh. It smells like body glitter and shame. Was it okay? So, in many ways, sex is about being accepted by the other person. Human beings are designed for attachment and affirmation. We need it. He says it is okay to be affirmed, to desire to be affirmed. Not like this, Jacky. Not like this. Not getting that from your wife and not being able to get it anywhere else is damaging. It takes healing. So away I went on a journey whose goals was to become desired purely for sexual and physical reasons. I want to be the most memorable sexual experience for each woman I slept with. So he basically wants to be Slaanesh. He wants to be the guy who, if you gaze upon him, you just fall in love with him instantly and you'll never want to be with another guy again.
So did he want to be Casanova?
He wanted to be a Casanova. He wanted to be, what the hell, not Rigoletto. What the fuck is the guy's name? Don Juan. He wanted to be that. He wanted to be the guy who he wanted to be the guy who steals your girl. This guy is a fucking danger. I talk about how there are going to be a lot of like guys who are going to cheat on their wives and shit because, you know, well, one, they're bored, and at the same freaking time, they all know that they're not who they say they are. They know that they didn't achieve it through hard work and labor. They know that they got there because of Marxist handouts, more than likely. Anyhow, we're going to continue. All right, so...
To ruin her forever, in a good way. I wanted a lot of sex and got it. I succeeded. And maybe now I'm even stated... The edge gets further from the center eventually. Excitement and novelty can wear off. Even novelty can become a boring thing. And this is where, you know, Joker from, I think it's the Better Bachelor, talked about this guy burnt out his psyche. He burnt out his, like, he literally did the whole, the Cenobite experience where he basically couldn't get it off anymore. All he could do is... I'm reminded of a quote that a pastor would always say. I forget where he probably got from somewhere, but I don't know where. He said, meaninglessness doesn't come from being weary of pain. It comes from being weary of pleasure.
Well said.
And I'm guessing this has to do. We're going to go into. But with that said, I'm probably getting ahead of us. But that probably explains why he's more interested in Duganism.
Yeah, because this guy basically is open to that type of shit. He's open to it because he's already opened himself up to a lot of this Eastern mysticism shit. He's open to the idea, like again, he just wants to get laid.
He's open to oblivion. That's what he's open to.
Yep, and we have to oblige him and send them to it. That's what I say. Not to, in Minecraft, or Warhammer 40k. We're gonna do it in Warhammer 40k or D&D. We're gonna do it in character. Witchitsky, please don't hurt me. The edge gets further and okay, we've read that already. There's only so many approaches to sex, so many different ways of doing it. Only so many different kinds of people and lovers. For me, those of us who like to push the edge, eventually the only areas left to explore become things that can only do with an evolved couple. Jesus Christ. He did get possessed by Slash. Holy fucking shit. Intimacy, vulnerability are essential to the forms of trust, which become the launching point for erotic explorations. Unfortunately, over time, intimacy, as practiced today, tends to lead to the excitement of the extinguishment of the erotic flame. And he says, in bold, a sad irony that truly getting to know your partner can kill the spark. Yeah, I mean, this is the type of guy who I wouldn't be surprised if it's cluster B or like some sort of other personality disorder, because to me, this is ideation. This is someone idealizing someone and then loving, like, oh my God, they're going to live happy ever after. And then they tell you, no, I actually have a cat and you don't like cats. And then the whole thing dies out because you instantly devalue them. That's what this is. Okay. Esther Perel, author of Mating in Captivity, writes that intimacy can destroy desire and passion. When two people become one, there is no gap to bridge. This is where I say the whole cucking thing is like Donkey Kong and Mario. Well, it literally is Donkey Kong.
When two become one, there is no gap to bridge. That's the point.
Yeah, two become one. You are in a union. You're a union now. You are one with that woman, and this is why I say, don't be unevenly yoked, or else you'll become like fucking Jacky over here. That gap is where erotic energy lies. Yeah, it also lies where chaos lies. A gaping pit that will swallow your ass.
Creating and maintaining a gap between two people who live together takes special care. So, is he saying that you can only have a meaningful relationship if your partner is a constant stranger?
He's basically saying that once you know that person truly and utterly, that person, you can no longer be attracted to them because you know them already. So it's the idea that you want to have a new woman every time in bed and you want to have a new encounter. And again, this guy literally busted his endorphins. He busted it.
Shouldn't you know the person before you sleep with them?
Well, that used to be back in the day, but welcome to the brave new world that all the Fabian socialists want us to have, because guess what? Now we're in it, and now everyone can have the pill, and now there's a bunch of sex, and, this is what's happening to people. So take a dopamine detox, Jack. Take a fucking dopamine detox, for the love of God. Pray to the God Emperor. Jeez.
Remember the movie Knocked Up with Seth Rogen?
Yeah, I do.
Like, they have their moment of passion, and then afterwards they basically have their first one-to-one and breakfast, and they realize, oh, this was a complete mistake.
Yep. And of course, I don't know. So let's see, erotic energy. Okay, that creating and maintaining the gap between two people. Oh, wait,
before that, where are we?
What's up?
Oh, creative care. Yeah, keep going.
Creating and maintaining the gap between two people who live together takes special care. When my girlfriend and I decided together that I'm going to rape her whenever I want, that appearance of non-consent gives us extra erotic energy. Okay, how much erotic energy? Are we talking kilos? Are we talking like...
Wait, like when she doesn't want to?
Yeah, so basically the idea is he's going to come up to her, she's cooking in the kitchen, he's just going to fucking turn off the stove and just fuck her right there on the counter.
But isn't that... doesn't she kind of want... Like, based on this, isn't this what she wants to do? Like, couldn't she just say that... do they have to phrase it as rape? Couldn't it just be like, oh, I'll just let my husband have me whenever he wants, and I'm okay with that?
Yeah, it could be that, but again, this is him writing. I guess so there's stuff that he's not going to talk about in here because it's like personal, and you wouldn't tell anybody, even your fucking dad, about this stuff. So I'm going to continue. Rape certainly is about bridging a gap, as it were, and it inherently contains a certain anonymity to it.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're.
Well, yeah. No one knows who. No one. If you know the person, it probably isn't rape, right?
I mean, statistically speaking, you will be raped by someone you know, but you're more likely to be raped by someone you know than a stranger. But I don't know why this is breaching a gap.
It turns her on like crazy. I love it. Healthy, vigorous sex can and does include violence and aggression. Power dynamics are often at its core. But we decide in advance what is okay, and we have established a code of conduct.
So it's not rape.
So it's not rape. It's just in his mind he thinks it's rape.
It's just inhibition, complete inhibition, or complete. Oh, what's the word? Complete passion for his desires at any given moment. Basically like a Muslim marriage.
Yeah, exactly. It was suspended. It is suspended disbelief. This disbelief allows us to create a gap to close. It creates a space for desire to reach out to the other person. Role-playing stranger rape puts us in a different persona for the moment, creating mystery, danger, and desire. I.e., it's fucking hot.
I mean, I know this was basically. How long ago was this? 2015. 7. I mean, I know this is like 7 years ago, but does he have to use it? I mean, referring to it as rape is kind of stupid.
Well, again, I don't know what else you would call it. I would say aggressive sex, maybe. I don't fucking know.
I guess that's the lingo he has to use.
I don't know. But Matt from Tinder, and I keep thinking Matt Stone or Matt Forney. Maybe Matt Forney's finally doing it. I don't know. I'm not going to bash Matt, but
I mean, if Matt got to cuck Jack, I don't know. Is that really a bad thing?
Hey, go for it, Matt. Go for it. Matt from Tinder.
I shouldn't say that. That's not right.
No, I don't want to bash Forney, but again, I when I think Matt, I immediately think Forney. I'm sorry about that, but in this case, Matt's
some stranger from Tinder.
Yeah, stranger from Tinder helped us to introduce another element which requires suspended disbelief. Just like my girlfriend knows I could nor ever would actually rape her, I too know that my girlfriend is not going to leave me for some guy she met on Tinder today to fuck. The entire experience is regimented according to my rules. I introduced her to the idea. I pushed it. Oh God, it wasn't that she cheated on him. He actually pushed for this shit. Again, this is one of the reasons why we need to fight this culture war and why we need to push back against this shit, is because you're going to let this guy control gender relations. You're going to let this guy teach women or guys how to be men. Stay away from these people. This fucking Slaanesh, you degenerate fuck. So let's see. Where can we continue with this? Okay, I would never. Let's see. The entire experience according to my rules. I introduced her to the idea. I pushed it. I told her to go to Tinder and find someone. On the day in question, I tell her when and where to do it. She checks in with me via text. Cuck. I know where she is, and I am waiting for her. She is not alone. She is on a mission sent directly by me, and the entire point is for me to get turned on in a way that wouldn't happen otherwise. Yeah, this guy blew out his dopamine. I'm sorry.
I mean, forgive my crassness, but if you're going to be a complete degenerate, the least you can do is get another woman at the same time. If you're going to be an actual degenerate.
Dude, again, this is why Christians are going to inherit the earth, because everyone else is too busy killing themselves.
They would rather go to hell than be embraced by the bliss of heaven.
Oh yeah, they don't want to play by the rules on Earth, so they're gonna make hell on Earth for themselves and everyone around them.
I mean, I know I'm joking about, but this is just dumb. And this level of degeneracy is like It's not even grandiose. It's not even like a sass. It's like expression of absolute power and control. It's just him. Oh yeah, let's be completely degenerates. Let's just go. Like take it. Like go. This is hell. Let's go a little notch below that.
Yeah. So welcome, Sophie Page. Holy Mystic. I no idea. I was walking into this. Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the club. I didn't even plan on this, but when things happen quickly. So let's see. Where else was it? I was alone. Said it's otherwise. Okay. Where was it? She is not alone. She is on mission directed by me, and the entire point is for me to get turned on in a way that wouldn't happen else otherwise. The excitement, the interest, the anticipation put me in a different state. I get turned on knowing someone else wants my girl as badly as I do. How do you know they want as badly as you do?
Can't
How
you do
know
that when you're married? Like, isn't that kind of thing? I have the hottest wife in town, and everyone wants her, but they can't. But you're giving her out. They pushed her to give her out.
Yes, I get turned on knowing she is fucking someone else. Again, quote. That's what it says. We've done it together. Where she picked up a guy at the bar, took him home, and I watched them have sex. Or brought a guy from Craigslist over, and I took pictures as he banged her. Oh my god!
Oh, and you have evidence.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You make Nick Fuentes look more masculine than Jack Murphy. There's a fucking problem.
Oh.
Jeez, give me the Catman any fucking day. Jesus Christ. This time, I just sent her on her way and gave myself time to write and relax, knowing that the exceptional sex awaits upon reunion. The time she spends with the other guy isn't really hers alone. It's ours. It's mine. It's her acting out my ideas. Oh my God. This guy is evil. And then this is where, and if you want to know how evil he is, this is in bold writing. Her behavior is a manifestation of my will. I'll repeat that. Because combined with all the tantric sex and all the other connections to like Dugan and all the magical shit and all the talk of erotic energy, this motherfucker is not a Christian. This motherfucker is a heathen degenerate, and to prove it all, her behavior is a manifestation of my will.
Now, wait. What? Read that again?
Her behavior is a manifestation of my will.
Oh.
So,
wow.
What thou will shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will, to quote Aleister Crowley. This is the degeneration of the West. When you give these motherfuckers a platform, when you let these people be bedfellows with your fucking political movement, this is what you get. So I'm convinced this guy's a fucking degenerate animal. So I'm going to just keep reading. Let's see what else we got here. I'm going to look at the chat real quick. Ray Ancamp, doesn't surprise me he got his kids vaccinated. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. That's what he is. Let's see. Holy Mystic. But if it's desired of me, I'll be faithful, trusting, and loyal, and help my mate feel safe, loved, and trusted. Good. Awesome. That's more power to you. Let me see what else. Luke says, my wife is the first person I see when I wake up, and it's the last person I see when I go to sleep. R.C. Sproul, I think his name is?
Yeah, he's one of the best Protestant pastors who passed away a while ago.
Oh, may he rest in peace. May God accept him.
He was on a sermon about like nakedness and how the only place he can ever be naked is before God and before his wife, and is the person he's one flesh with.
That is beautiful, and that is true. That is a good way of living your life, because you don't want to be like this degenerate, and here's why. It is incongruent that with our dominant/submissive relationship, as crazy as it that may sound, when she was finished, she rushed back to me immediately, and we had the best sex ever, yet again, each time surpassing the last. New peaks 2 years into it. Putting ourselves into that situation creates newer and crazier levels of erotic energy that can lead to even better and more powerful sexual experiences. Call it sperm wars, fearing of losing her, against where I get into the whole Donkey Kong, cuckold Mario shit, right? Yeah, fear of losing her or jealousy, all of it contributed to our own suspended disbelief. It leads to an amping of my own sexual energy in a way I've not experienced anywhere else. Basically, I got to spend time writing and being alone, my preferred activity, and in return, I get hotter, more satisfying sex with a sexy young girl that I love. Our bodies are fickle creatures. I don't think love or lust is designed to do much more than trick us into getting her pregnant. A temporary insanity cloaked in oxytocin and dopamine. It fades usually 18 to 36 months in, and you're left wondering where the spark went and how to get it back. This outright manipulation of sex hormones through contrived consensual sexual activities involving the third person is just another biohack. Oh god damn. Again, I've talked about magic being sorcery, and this type of chemical manipulation. It's magic. It is magic. Sex magic is magic. The difference here is that is designed for procreation, is not designed just to get your ego cummies. And this is all about him. He even said it. He sends his woman to go fuck another guy. It's his idea. This guy doesn't deserve to be married. Men like this need to be wiped out. Just to let you know. And they're not procreating, so good. Fuck them. Castrate the motherfucker. This outright manipulation. Okay, we'd already read that. It can be part of a repertoire of individualistic self-regulating male, but not just anyone can or should jump into something similar. This is in bold. What I'm talking about is advanced stuff, guys. Apex level. Fuck you. You're just a degenerate. You're just a fucking sick little degenerate who blew out his fucking neurotransmitters and now he can't get it up.
I mean, that last sentence before that was him basically perfectly intellectualizing cuckoldry.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's the thinking man fetish, right? Just saying.
Oh.
There are ground rules and conditions, condition predicates required before closing on a deal like this. Cultivating erotic energy can this way be risky. Your frame and trust must be impenetrable for this work. And by the way, his frame is dead now because no one trusts this motherfucker. You have to be in a certain place yourself before you could ever try this. My experience deconstructed what has worked, and here's how you do it. He's going to teach us how to be men, ladies and gentlemen. Learn game, get fit, raise your status. Before you attempt a Matt from Tinder scenario, you better already be on the top of your game. Follow everything Matt tells you to do at Danger and Play first. I guess this is Mike, by the way. Mike from Danger and Play at first. Once you've mastered yourself, then you can master advanced shit like this. Take baby steps. Go through all of the other stuff first. This is for when you're stated. This is for when you are already experienced the BDSM, tantric, or whatever else gets you going. Extinguish the thrill and novelty first. Extinguish the thrill and novelty first after threesomes with other women. Have girls on the side when the energy ebbs, when you find yourself wanting to work more than even talk to other girls, much less put in the energy to fuck them, then start to consider something like I'm suggesting. You'll actually get an erotic charge from doing nothing. Highly efficient. The day after nights like this, I'm usually creatively supercharged. Wow, he's far gone. Holy shit. And I thought sex was just for procreation. Apparently this guy has a whole fucking, game manual. Okay, so let's see. Okay, you must be dominant and she submissive. If your natural disposition is to be submissive, you have already lost the fight. Go back to step one. You must be dominant in your personality and your relationship, so much so that you and she acknowledge and she embraces your submissive nature to enhance her own dominant one. You must trust her. Trust is another word for being able to predict someone's behavior. Trust encompasses knowing your girl's position in life, where she is mentally, emotionally, financially, professionally, such that you know she is going to behave. Oh, wow, this guy's grooming people.
Well, I mean, it's very easy to have trust in a woman when the woman is basically an extension of your will.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, this is evil shit. This
I mean,
is absolutely
it's not even
evil.
trust. It's like, I command you. She's like a slave. I command you, and you will do as I say.
Yeah, exactly, and it's evil. Westerners taking Media Hit says Westerners talking Eastern religion texts such as Kama Sutra, adding cuckoldry. Is he from California? No, he's not, and I would know because I'm actually from California. You should check out Jay Campbell. He's into testosterone replacement therapy, chakras, friends with Mike Cernovich. Yeah, cut off Mike Cernovich. My advice, Aaron Clary, and you can read Roosh, but you don't do what Roosh says. Aaron Clary is the only guy I go to. Okay, because, again, you pay him. You want to play, you get to pay with Clary.
I mean, I kind of get the appeal of the dominance, but it's just like you're misleading the point. I mean, this woman doesn't trust you. She's.
Though. It really isn't. It really isn't dominance. It's basically domination.
Yeah.
The fact that he's bringing in like BDSM elements to it is fucking creepy as hell.
I mean, he's not even treating her like a woman. He's treating her like a pet.
He's treating her like a fucking broodmare.
A what?
That's what he's treating. A broodmare. A broodmare is basically just a horse that's there to breed other horses. That's what it is.
Not even that. They don't have any. How many kids do they not have from this?
Your trust comes from the fact that you know she won't leave you because you're the man of her dreams. You've mastered yourself and the game such that you know that you're the one doing the choosing. Yeah, this is narcissism. It really is. That's how you trust her, by being amazing. That's how you trust her, by being amazing. It must always be your idea. If your girl brings it up and you insist over your protestations, I don't know what that is. I guess you protesting, essentially. You might as well just pack your bags, brother, because that relationship is already dead. Your experience is about you, your needs and your desires. She will love it because you want it. Staying true to your own desires and not settling for anything less will turn her on. You must set the tone and the pace and be the sole decider as to when, where, and if at all this actually goes down. So basically, you have to control women. You have to control this woman because you can't control, like, again, a woman pushing back against this guy would probably break this guy's ego. He'd probably kill her, to be honest. Because, again, this guy is so fucking up there, that egotism shit. You have to compete and unfettered access. You have complete and unfettered access to her phone. Oh, no, you have complete and unfettered access
to her phone and social media account should you choose to. Oh my gosh.
This guy is evil. Like, I put horns on him just so he looks like a Slaneshi demon, but I actually think this guy might be fucking possessed.
Aren't horns like a symbol of cuckoldry? But this is like,
No, I mean, I picked it because of the fucking, the Slaneshi demon.
It works both ways.
Yeah. Okay, so, but if you want to look. Myself, I look at the text and Tinder messages from potential third parties because it turns me on. I use that sexual energy and turn it right back around on her. Bottom line, so he gaslights this chick. Bottom line, you must be 100% in control. So someone like me is basically never going to be around Jack Murphy because I will constantly undermine him every fucking step of the way. Not because I want to get laid, but because I just want to fuck with him because it does work on him.
I know we're going to come up to this eventually, but the fact that he wants to suppress this and like pretend it never existed is like weird. Because it's like, I know this is very damning and very horrible for his brand, but it's like, just own it, dude. You made this. Yeah,
but the guy at the horn, he's taking life by the horns. That's what he's doing. He's a POA Jim Goad. Yes, he is. He's just as red as Jim Goad. I don't know what it is with the white people trying to act. They're red, okay? Vosh is red. He's pink, okay? This guy is pink because I did Photoshop him, but
I mean, if you're gonna at the very least say, okay, I'm not. He can say I'm not that person anymore. But no, he put this on the internet for all the world to see. Do you think no one was going to find it?
yeah, and again, this is right before he got famous, and now he's going to try to bury it, and we're not going to bury it. Let him bury it, are we, ladies and gentlemen?
No,
we're
no,
not.
no.
No, we're not. Have her fuck a young guy. So this guy's 40 or so, right? So he's going to have some young fucker go fuck her, right? Assuming that you're in a relationship with a younger woman, as you should be, you should have her bang a young guy on the side. This way, she really will only see him as a physical fling rather than any potential competitor for her loyalty. Your status, your maturity, and your vastly superior world knowledge will keep you secure. Have fun. Check in with yourself and make sure you're enjoying it. If you are distressed, actually insecure, or feel like you're compromising yourself, do not engage. Go back to step one, start over. Why are we starting over? If you're not interested before, why would you be interested later on in the later date? Unless you're just draining your oxytocin out of your psyche and your dopamine, just draining it out and buzzing yourself out like a fucking Cenobite. What the hell? This is meant to enhance your life, make you more vigorous, and hack your hormonal environment. If it's not lifting you up, then you should try something else. Some of this, or maybe all of it, is going to challenge many of you. So now he's trying to get everybody else to join in. Some of you are going to call me a cuckold, a pussy, accuse me of being somehow less of a man. You are. Many of you think I'm secretly gay. I don't think anyone here said that.
Yeah, he said it, not us. He said it.
You said it. You smelt the. He dealt it. Fuck. If you're feeling any of those, you should probably look inside and ask yourself, why would I have decided for myself? Is this making me feel? Oh, fuck you, Jacky. Fuck you.
If you're feeling
if
you're feeling any of those, you should probably look inside and ask yourself why. What I've decided for myself is making you feel that way. How dare you question my sexual prowess, you weirdos? You're the loser here, not me.
Yeah, you're the weirdo. You're the I look at porn. You're the weirdo for not looking at porn. That's what that is. This is apex level stuff. I said it's not going to be. Not for the neophyte. Oh, now he's using the big vocabulary.
Neophyte. No. We have to be.
It's not for those who aren't being dominant in their relationship. It's not for those whose women is pushing the agenda. It is for those who have developed and matured as men, who have learned about relationships and themselves in the process. It is for those who can begin to grasp what cultivating an erotic energy means and comprehend its essential. It is essential to keep it alive as time progresses.
Oh, and that last sentence, it goes to one of his articles called A Moral Framework for Sexual Health. You Deserve to Be a Sex God, Part 2.
Yeah, this guy's a degenerate. He needs to, like, Dugan, take this guy. Go take him. We don't want him. Go. Maybe he'll fuck your Instagram whore, Russian wife, whatever the fuck it might be. Go on. Go on. I'm sure Pajit and Eduardo and whatever the fuck else you have in your little Eurasian hellhole. Let them have it. Go on. Let them have it. And most importantly, it is also those who are willing to push the envelope within the bounds of a healthy relationship, understanding that the final frontiers of the sexual exploration can only be done with a devoted, loyal partner. Follow me on Twitter. Follow Jack Murphy Live. And then, of course, you read the comments, and oh boy. The comments are awesome. These are like 3 months ago. And he responds to every fucking comment like a goddamn bitch cuckold SJW Slaneshi motherfucker. Live out your nightmares in a semi-controlled environment. That at the root of cuckolds. You're a literal cuckold. You rationalize it how you want, but you're nothing short of pathetic for having this happen. If you love someone, you feel jealous when they cheat on you. It takes a lot of mental exercise to convince yourself otherwise. You're pathetic. You're trying to tell the world how you're really not, and it's really nothing you like to think. And you're actually very red-pilled. I.e., some degenerate fuck playing along with feminists. And you're not submissive at all. Does nothing but show insecurity. Your girlfriend cheated, and you tried to rationalize it in being empowered, and she doesn't give a shit. Cuck. And this guy says, another troll post, I'll engage and block to make a point. Yes, jealousy. Yes, danger. Yes, excitement. Yes, controlled environments. Nothing happened to, he says, capital T-O, me. I made it all happen myself. And you're right. I'm not submissive at all. You're absolutely right, Jack. You burnt down your own fucking house, and you did it all by yourself. You destroyed your marriage, Jack. You destroyed it. And again, guru culture is shit, ladies and gentlemen. Guru culture is garbage. And of course, he calls it a troll comment. And again, Elijah Schaffer, when the whole thing kicked off, and again, let me see if I can pull it up for you. I want to actually pull up the actual discussion of him talking. See if I can find it here. Okay, from the quartering. Here we go. So the quartering even talked about this
shit. Really?
Yeah, so I have my own talks about the quartering. I have my own ideals about the quartering. Here we go. Yeah. And guess what? Guess how much it costs to join his little order? $99 a month to join the liminal order. About a one-time fee of about like $3,500. That's how much it costs to join his little order. Which again, we don't actually know what the benefits are. What do we get out of it? Not a goddamn thing. See if I can find more information about this whole Elijah shit. Okay, here we go. I want to share this with you. You can play this, and you can take off. You can take off the whole tantric thing and play this. Luke.
All right.
I'm gonna read some of your guys' super chats. Cuck shaming. Yes, we should shame cucks because those men are weak and they're not going to be able to defend their women when shit actually goes down. The chaos sign on his inner third eye. Yeah, so absolutely. I mean, he's hanging out with Dugan. The motherfucker has the chaos sigil in his own fucking Eurasian Economic Union party shit. A group of Bajiks and his wife. Yes, exactly. And say what you will about the Bajiks. They're like the fucking Tau. The Tau Empire. They fucking subvert you with H-1B visas. So you can play this, Luke.
Let's see. What's the quarter? Oh, Twitter.
Yep, from Twitter.
Let's see.
Because again, we're gonna continue with our story after this. Here we go. Play it.
Because Mr. Dickenball said, "Could you please clear up?"
That's too soft. I'll
turn it up a bit.
I am not gonna.
Here it is.
Here you go. Play it.
Mr. Dickenball said, "Could you please clear up the cuck article you wrote?"
I am not going to talk about
Again?
this.
Okay.
And basically, you know what? Fuck you for bringing this up right here and right now. Why are you doing this to me?
I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Why are you doing what to me?
Just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
Okay, so keep in mind, this is him trying to control women, right? He probably immediately went snake and said, "Oh, this woman's just like my wife. I'm gonna try to control her." And again, he's just reading it. And again, the cuck article, no context. There's absolutely no context for this guy for what the cuck article is. It could be anti-cuckoldry. It could be pro-cuckoldry. But he gives it away because I'll tell you, all you have to do is push this guy. This guy you just push his buttons and buzz the fuck out of him. And the moment he feels underpowered, he'll kill someone. I guarantee he's going to kill someone. Like if you go on the street and you call him a cuck, he'll chase you down. Like, people making allusions to him being like Jim Goad. The one way he's like Jim Goad is Jim Goad has that very like allopathic defense mechanism. So if I said, "Hey Jim, you're a smackhead," he would immediately go to the ends of the earth and say, "Who fucking said that? I'm not a smackhead. How dare you?" He'll just keep going and feeding it. This guy you can endlessly troll. And the reason you can endlessly troll is because he needs to get that dopamine fix.
I wish we could. I wish I still had that old Jim Go Matt. Jim Go Matt Forney conversation.
Oh God.
Oh,
pull it up.
What was that one? I can't remember. I can't find it. I don't remember. Oh yeah, it was with Davis back in the day.
Oh boy.
Let's see.
All right.
Let's see if it's opens. Oh yeah, it opens up and they just go right into the nitty gritty details, if I can remember correctly. Let's see.
By the way, why are always the pink ones? The fucking pink motherfuckers. Like, have you noticed that they all look like they're half devil or something? and then Waff in 2015 on the article says, "Do you feel in control, Cuck?" And then he responds. He's responding. Keeps feeding them. He fucking opened the floodgates, and now they're gonna hunt him down. Holy shit!
Yeah, he's like, who's the guy who had that flag from the people from 4chan found? Shia LaBeouf. Oh, no, Shia LaBeouf. Yes.
Shia LaBeouf. He is. You just keep feeding it. We can probably kick this guy off the internet now. He's probably so vulnerable we could kick him off.
Oh, you know? If he ever has an appearance on Timcast. I wonder if Tim knows.
Well, actually, it's funny you should say that, because I got the original source article from I think it was one of Tim Pool's Ian's girlfriend, I believe. Ian from Timcast, right? Ian, whatever the hell his name is. And apparently, she even says, her name is Christina, by the way. You want to... here we go. I'll send you this as well. You can put this up there. Because I wanted to talk about a lot of things, but again, this takes precedence, right? Keep going. Play it, Luke.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to this friendly conversation between Matt Forney and Jim Go. I've been asked to host a platform for them to have a debate on. Now, I'll tell you my personal opinion, my hope, that I think there's some apologies that should be made on both sides. I'd like to see them shake hands and make friends again. We'll see whether or not that happens. My goal here is to simply provide a platform where both of them will have their say, because I know both these men in real life. I have respect for both of them. And I'm just trying to moderate things. So don't expect too much from me. We are going to start with Forney. Forney, could you please tell us how this whole argument began? It was an article that you wrote, wasn't it?
High pressure from smack, I agree. That smack is like, the smack must flow with this man. Keep going.
About 3 months ago, I believe. Jim here wrote an article for Tappy's magazine in which he criticized the alt-right for being too moralistic in its denunciations of degeneracy, and I took exception to that because, to me, his argument seemed to be like an intellectualized version of Mr. Mackey's "don't take political sides," okay? And I explained in the stream that in order to fix the problems of society, the what Jim calls the moralism is absolutely necessary. That is my argument distilled. There were some other points playing off it, but that's the core essence of it.
Well, I mean, what is the alt-right, Matt? Number one. Here's the thing. I'll go get into a little history here. Matt, you become a Christian?
That's what he is.
And more open to Christianity, yes.
He keeps smacking his lips like he has tardive dyskinesia or something.
Open Christian. So you believe in the Christian God?
I've realized the value of Christianity. That's a good way of putting it. I'm not definite on many questions yet.
Do you need to believe in things that make sense?
I need to believe in things that make sense, yes.
Okay. Why would a perfect God get angry? This is a question I've asked everyone. They attack me. Because and I think one of the things that bothered me about the podcast was you seem to think I was acting in bad faith or whatever it seems. And notice I always couch it with seems because I don't know what's in people's minds. It'd be nice to see you, but that's a whole other thing. My whole thing with Christianity, I was raised under it.
Let's just clarify this for the audience. Forney doesn't have a webcam. He hasn't had a webcam in a long time, and we usually don't use webcams at all.
I've just been accused of being a Jew.
Oh, it went south fast.
Poor creature that he is. Such a... Wait, John Steele? Is this John Steele's fucking thing?
Archived, I guess.
Oh, good. God bless you, John, you heathen. God bless you.
Oh, great. Anyway, but you know what, Matt? I believe you sincerely believe what you're saying, although I've seen you morph like a chameleon over the years. But so I might question whether you actually have any sincere beliefs or you follow what you believe is relevant. My whole thing with Christianity is absolutely sincere. I was raised Catholic, 12 years of Catholic school. I had this radical conversion around age 14. There was a nun in freshman year of high school where she was talking about Our Lady of Fatima, making all these prophecies about the end of the world. And it sounded pretty terrifying. So I thought, well, God, I better read the Bible. And there was one Easter weekend, my freshman year of high school, I read the Bible. I was like, holy fuck, you have to be a fanatic. And I became a believer. I was such a believer that from like age 14 to 16. Now think about this, age 14 to 16.
Notice this has nothing to do with the subject.
No, he didn't, because let's be frank, this guy, again, Goat has connections to the Church of Satan and also to other white nationalist institutions. Now, not to say that the Church of Satan is white nationalist, but disproportionately, we're seeing more and more of these motherfuckers come out of the ether and basically, like literally the ether, right? And they all have connections to white nationalists, but they're libertarian guys, so therefore just don't look the other way. Just like how feminism is about equality, you should totally just turn a blind eye to their degeneracy. No. And by the way, there is an argument to be had that the Catholic Church failed Jim Goat in this regard. There is an actual argument to be had because, I'm of the opinion they didn't teach him the etymology of the word. They probably just gave him a book and said, good luck, kid, have fun. They didn't explain to him the difference between love, and the difference between love of one nation, one culture, or love between a man and a woman, love between a father and a son. They just said love is love. They never explained what that actually was. At the same time, they probably, again, the guy is a drug addict. He's a smackhead. Keep going, Luke.
I jerked off once. So I was pretty hardcore. Even the nuns at school thought I was maybe taking it a little too far. But I do tend to take things to the extreme. The problem was the same problem I had with leftism and the same problem I had with Santa Claus. I kept reading the Bible, and there were things that just didn't make sense. One thing, I guess maybe I'm a little OCD, I got obsessed with 3 different gospels that talked about the unpardonable sin. If you blaspheme the Holy Spirit, which theologians thought meant that.
Keep in mind, this was about addressing the moral question in the alt-right back in the day.
Yeah, and of course, because Smackhead doesn't, he has a fucked up fried brain. And keep in mind, this guy's geriatric now, right? He's in his fucking 50s and 60s, right?
Yeah.
But he looks young. That smack is keeping him alive.
You never get forgiven. You go to hell forever. Hell, according to the Bible, seems like a literal place that you go to. But if you call on the name of the Lord, you shall be saved. That's Romans 10:13. What's happening? I'll say, fuck you, Holy Spirit, save me, Lord. That's insoluble. Nothing, those cancel each other out. In the Old Testament, Leviticus, repeatedly God says, and this is me being autistic, actually taking the Bible at its word, because I've heard people use autistic in arguments as someone who's beating them in an argument, but autistic in the sense, God saying this law is eternal. It will never be revoked. This is another one, about slaughtering pigs, whatever, never be revoked.
Okay.
And along comes the New Testament, and it's revoked. Did God lie? Then he's not perfect. Did he not know it was going to be revoked? Then he's not God. And I kept coming up with this question of why would a perfect God get angry? Not when examining Christianity, but Islam. So a lot of, during the Bush years, Islam was kind of a big...
Good grief, he just goes on and on and on.
Yep, that's exactly the type of person.
I forgot how this went. Oh, I thought it was going to be more personal.
No, it wasn't. But again, we've bashed the smack enough, and let's just leave the smack. Let the smack bury the smack. But anyhow.
Yeah, but actually I'm noticing a lot of parallels between him and Jack Murphy in many respects, because, Jim Goat has the same kind of persona where he had a life beforehand. He just became a complete and utter degenerate.
And here's an example of that. Again, here you go.
What's this little tweet here?
This is from the girl who basically made the claim that Tim Pool was basically... She got fired from Tim Pool's podcast because she had a miscarriage. And that they were contacting her in the middle of the fucking night, at 11 p.m., which we're going to talk about Tim Pool because there's some stuff that happened to Tim Pool as well, okay? Tim Pool basically had this fight this week with apparently a rapper he got into a brawl with. We're going to talk about that. I got the clips as well.
The same guy who had a nice little conversation with Jared Taylor.
Oh, yeah. He says, you guys want to know how I know he's guilty and disgusting. What's the matter, Jack baby? I thought I wouldn't fuck you and everyone else. Or am I just a nasty, mad feminist that needs rape? Keep talking about locking your daughter's privates up on IRL, you sick fuck. And she blocks people. And if you go to Jim, can you go to the to Jack Murphy's Twitter page? Just go to Jack Murphy's Twitter page. Just type in Jack Murphy Live. He doesn't he's gone. I can see if he's still there. He's
Jack
there,
Murphy, where are you?
So I go to his tweets. I go to his pinned tweets. You can't even. It says who can reply. People at Jack Murphy follows or mentioned can reply. You can't reply. Yep, that's him. And by the way, Starry Night. You have that Vincent Van Gogh look for him. He probably is mentally ill. I'll just say. I'm not gonna say that's a bad thing. But if you go down, you scroll down. Try to comment on this link. Just try. Just try to comment.
Comments. Oh.
Try to.
Oh, hey, where'd it go? Oh, it's who can reply. People Jack Murphy follows, mentions, and reply. Oh, I can't reply to him.
You can't, neither can I. And you know what's funny about this whole thing is that he's hiding. He's scared. And because he knows deep down that no matter how he gaslights his girlfriends, no matter how he gaslights his wife, no matter how he gaslights himself even, he can't escape the fact that this guy basically, he cucked himself.
Let's see. Subscribe to the newsletter.
I ain't gonna subscribe to no fucking
Liminal
newsletter.
order. Let's see. Tweets. His last tweet was his retweet was oh wow.
Oh wow.
Pinned December 18th.
Yeah.
I overreacted last night on the air. I reached out to Sydney this morning and apologized. She and I spoke and we are all good. We were fans of each other before we had and are still fans today. The rest of the show was lit too.
And you know what's sad is that, like, this guy, you know, I like Jack Murphy. I liked him for a while, and now I'm realizing, oh, you're just a magical motherfucker who wants to get his cummies. Okay, I understand exactly what you are. Media Hit says at the end he calls Irene Paulid a gay actor. Really? Oh, that must be Jim Goad, right? Luke Ford follow-up was funny. It was, but even then I had an encounter with a gentleman that I didn't really like. Liminal order $65 a month. No, it's $99 a month. It's $99 a month to be part of his little secret snake cult. But we're gonna continue. I have some other things I want to talk about on this podcast.
So when people say like,
wait,
go on, keep going.
Oh no, I just clicked on a link on Twitter,
So when people say,
and it's
like-
Young Dims more likely to despise the other party, which is just another time he was on Twitter or on Timcast. What was it we mentioned before?
Rugman.
Oh yes, Rugman.
Here it is. I have it right here, Luke. I have all the links. Relax, I got the receipts.
Oh goody goody goody. What was this all about?
He's basically accusing him of being a fake and him be acting like a white. By the way, this
Here's
is
my hour-long documentary about the black.
Freeze.
Here we go.
Freeze.
Wait.
You're a racist prick. Here's my hour-long documentary about the black struggle in Ferguson.
Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah. Oh, great. $100,000 budget. James Baldwin, interviews with people on the ground to talk about what they've been through, and you have the nerve to come up to me and tell me my experiences don't matter when I'm fighting the fight.
Stop screaming, bitch. Stop screaming, first of all. Talk to me like because I'm not that guy.
Yeah,
Talk
you are.
normal.
You
I'm not
are.
that
You
guy.
actually are.
I wish we had the first part of this. I really would love the context.
Well, the idea basically was he was accusing him of being like a racist and a bunch of other crap. I actually have the follow-up from Tim Cast as well. But
Oh yeah, it's down here on the bottom, but yeah.
No, just keep playing.
Dude, you are that guy.
Talk about I'm not that guy to fucking scream at, bitch.
Ooh.
All right.
Fucking screaming at, bitch.
Let's calm down. You think you can?
I'm not that guy. You don't disrespect me, bitch.
What did you do to me? Did you disrespect me?
Now you start look
Are you
racist.
threatening me, Cornelio?
Fuck up.
That's what I got from it. Because I'll tell you this, Tim is I would have kicked this guy out. I would have had this guy removed at gunpoint if necessary. Because he damaged that fucking mic. Those mics are expensive. And you know, I would have fucking charged that guy for the fucking mic. You don't fucking damage my property. But Tim, apparently, like, some people say Tim is scared. Some people say Tim stared him down. Keep playing it.
Did you laugh at me?
Yeah, laugh.
Did you disrespect me? I was nice to you, bro. I was being nice.
You start raising your voice to me like I'm your son, bitch.
You raised
I'm
your
not
voice
gonna
to
deal
me?
with that.
Bro, I said
raised my voice
I
to
respected
nobody.
you.
You wouldn't shut
I
the fuck up with
appreciated
that
you.
raising your voice shit.
I stopped when you told me to. You said lower your voice, so I lowered my voice. I told you I respected you coming. It was a good show. I said I respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now let's hear Tim Pool's notion about it. Because here's the thing about Tim Pool. He made a 30-minute long fucking video about this. And apparently they're supposedly hugged and made up at the end of this. At the end of all of this. And I'm thinking to myself, guys, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I personally think the reason why Tim Pool's making up is because this guy's a rapper. And let's be frank, from a purely strategical cultural perspective, getting rappers on Timcast is probably better for everybody. Because then he can actually explain how woke the shit is and he can actually change the culture. He doesn't get anything from like burning bridges. He actually benefits from being a pussy in this regard, or being a milquetoast fence sitter. Wait.
Last night we had a guest a very famous, legendary rapper, R.A. the Rugged Man. And I think that's probably the best way to explain. He's worked with a lot of really top stars. He himself has had songs everywhere. And notably, he had a song in Tony Hawk's Underground, which I'm familiar with. And Luke Rudkowski, who's on the show, said we should definitely get him, and we did. And we had a very contentious show, very, very deep debate, people raising their voices, a lot of arguing. It was off the rails a little bit. That was on YouTube. The episode is now on Rumble, and it's on all podcast platforms. Basically, we put it everywhere. It's no longer on YouTube. But there's a clip going viral. I am now trending on Twitter. I think I was trending at like number 13 last I checked. And I don't really want to have to get into all this stuff, but I think I really should talk about what happened and why Tim Pool and R.A. the Rugged Man and everyone's talking about us. Because I kind of feel like it's early in the morning when I'm recording this. I'm recording this almost first thing. And I have a feeling that as the day goes on, people are going to be hungry for news, and they're going to start making clips about this. They're going to start writing articles about this. So I'll address it outright. And I'll make one thing clear. First, let me explain. A lot of people are sharing the clip. We have a clip here from Shoe on Head. This clip is not from a YouTube video. It is from timcast.com, where we have the Timcast IRL members podcast. It's about half an hour, Monday through Thursday. We do it after the show, and it's typically it's our not family-friendly version. I don't think our opinions are all that different. We just talk about things that aren't as family-friendly on that show. On that show, I got into a very heated argument. I raised my voice. I yelled at R.A. talking over him. He said, don't do that. Things got heated. He stood up, slapped the mic, and a lot of people. It's crazy to me that people think they're playing it up way more than I think they should. I'll be honest.
He sounds like a battered woman. He sounds like a battered, like he's like, it's all good. We're all good.
So what are we talking about?
He's talking about the fact that, again, this guy apparently hit the mic. He slapped the mic, which, again, it looks like he damaged the fucking mic, okay? It looks like he damaged it. Right? And again, that's why I'm concerned about. That's why I'd be pissed off about it. But this guy, R.A. the Rugged Man, apparently is a rapper, and that's why he's getting special treatment. And they hugged at the end of all of it. We didn't see that because it was leaked, and this is why you don't put shit behind paywalls.
Well, it's to make a living now.
Yeah, exactly. It's to make a living, even though I would argue that I'm making a living, and I'm doing this once a month, once a week, because I'm at the point where unless it is like an emergency, I'm only doing this once a week at this point. I'll keep going.
Something like this guy was acting a fool and stuff. Yeah, bro, he shouldn't have slapped the mic. But I shouldn't have raised my voice at him and then insulted him. We got heated, but not for one moment did I think things were out of control.
About what? What do you get heated about?
He got heated because he basically was saying that that Tim Pool never experienced racism. He never experienced what it's like to be discriminated against. And to be honest with you, I don't think Tim actually did face discrimination. I don't believe he did. Keep playing it.
People on the left being like, look at Tim, he refuses to back down. I'm like, I didn't think there was anything to back down from. I lowered my voice. Why? Because I felt bad for raising it in the first place. I wasn't scared that R.A. was going to walk over here and slap me or anything, because I think R.A. is a good dude. You get mad sometimes. Let me explain this. So all the people who are claiming that they believe R.A. we stood up and he was going to and I was scared he was going to attack me or something, or the people who are saying that I was brave for not flinching or whatever, I'm like, you guys don't understand. At no point during this did I feel that R.A. was a threat to me or anyone else. Why? R.A. got mad. I got mad too. R.A. got up and slapped the mic. But I know he's a good dude. We hang out before the show. We talk about this stuff. People get heated sometimes. Just because he got mad and he slapped the mic doesn't mean I felt like he was going to hurt anybody. So there's no reason for me to get up from my chair or be like, you're wrong, and get mad. No, I kind of felt like, I just insulted this guy and he's mad. Like, that's not cool. We're not being productive doing this. Now, I'll be honest. I felt insulted too. That's why I got mad. And that's why he got mad. But I don't see why anyone, I don't know, man. I think people want to hype this up and sensationalize it and make it. Timcast IRL is the same show where we the same regurgitated stereotype, right-wing opinions, when I literally. I'll give you an example. Feel free to disagree with me. Comment. I said we're the transgender swimmer Leah Thomas, right? Here's an example of where we're very much in the middle on these things. We don't just play right-wing narrative stuff. Though I would say, obviously, whatever the left views itself as, we are not in that cultural camp. With Leah Thomas, I said she followed all the rules, the transgender swimmer. No one spoke up about it. How am I supposed to get mad about people not speaking up when these are the rules and the person's following all the rules? I'm not going to blame, you know what I mean? They expect to come to the show and we're going to be like Kyle Rittenhouse, and say all these things about him. And I'm just like, I think there was a lot of mistakes and a lot of problems made, but I'm not going to fault the kid for running away from a fight and defending himself. He also then came out about the Ahmaud Arbery case. His premise was basically that because we viewed the individual cases and these individuals and their rights individually, we were putting down or diminishing the black struggle. We were racist. We were pro-cop. And I'm like, dude, I say abolish the police all the
Okay.
racist policies. It's a fact. Blockbusting was when...
Here we go.
All right, as I've already stated. What it was that I'd say something like, look, I do not believe I have ever had it worse than black people in this country. I've never felt that way. I believe systemic racism exists. And for those that aren't familiar, I'll give you a hard example. Blockbusting and redlining were practices that were occurring frequently up until the 80s. That means there are people they're millennials. There are people in my age group who are living in areas that are impoverished due to racist policies. It's a fact. Blockbusting was when they would go into white areas, buy a house, move in a black family or a minority family, and then scare all of the white people into moving, selling their houses at a cheap price, and then kicking out the black family and selling all the houses at a high price. It was disgusting. It's illegal. Redlining is where, in Chicago, the red line, they would literally draw out areas where they'd be like, that's where we're going to put all of this group and this minority, and they created extreme racial segregation in that city. So these policies may have been made illegal, but you need to understand that if they're stripping away the property value from black families, and if they're forcing them to live in depressed areas, there are people my age who grew up in a part of the city because of those policies. That's where we do. And I don't like that stuff. And I want to solve for that problem. And that's what I was trying to explain to RA. That when he says systemic racism and all stuff, I'm like, yes, let me give people a real concrete example. A kid born in, a guy, let's say he's born in 1985. He's still living in redlined districts.
Yeah.
He still grew up with that struggle because literal racist actions taken by individuals back then. That does not mean that individual real estate agents today are going out there.
What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it, though? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? What can you do as an individual? Nothing, except acknowledge it and then move on. And maybe legislate against it. But other than that, I mean, the damage has been done. You know, the businesses have been set up. The board has been set. The pieces are fucking moving. But to go on with it, again, I'm of the, like, because he goes into this whole, oh, we kissed and made up. We're all awesome. And I really do believe that this is all him trying to save his ass. Because he knows that this it's all PR. He wanted to be able to keep RA because he knows that RA ultimately is going to be the guy who's going to get more rappers from Hollywood. It's networking. You would never burn this type of bridge. You playing?
Oppas and quappas in this country, like, come together and start talking about it. So he started saying, oh, did you have this? Did you have that? Did you have this? And then the one thing he said was, you get pulled out of line at the airport. That set me off. You know why? Because I do. Almost every time. I've talked about it over and over and over again. Maybe it's political. I don't know. I went to Austin recently. I flew there. I got pulled out of the line. They said, you've been chosen for a random screening, sir. Happens all the time. When I was in the UK, they gave me a ticket that had 4 S's on it. I don't know what that means. Security of some sort. They pulled me out of the line. I don't get to board first. I don't get to put my bag in the carry-on because I get pulled out of line. I don't know why. Political, maybe. But it's crazy for him to be like, that doesn't happen to you. And that set me off. Because I was like, dude, we're at a point now where I'm sitting across from a guy who is saying over and over again that he doesn't care that people are racist to me. He said he did not care that white supremacists attacked my family and didn't believe me anyway. He laughed at me and he told me to lower my voice and he called me a bitch. That set me off. Then I lowered my voice.
You are a bitch.
I was yelling. I was like, this happens to me all the time. Almost every single time I go to the airport, I get pulled out. And they said, lower your voice, lower your voice, lower your voice, bitch. And so I said, okay, all right, I'm lowering my voice.
Oh, so that's what it was all about.
Yeah, so lower your voice, because he kept calling him that guy who basically who is basically a defending black people, but not actually being consistent in the sense that he says racism is bad, but you can't be racist because you're white. You're a white boy. You're a white boy. He just kept bashing Tim Pool. And I'm thinking to myself, Tim, like legitimately, I don't think you're going to have him on again. I don't think you're going to have him on for at least a year or so, because this guy, like, when I first saw that, I thought to myself, this reminds me of like junkyard shit.
Here he is in his natural environment with Jared Taylor.
No, his natural environment with Gavin McGanus.
They look at the world around them and they see black people failing in every domain. And they're not so brain dead as to think that it's because vicious white people are rubbing their hands and saying, how am I going to keep black people down?
Wait. But if you believe that 30 to 40% of Americans believe that whites and Asians are superior to blacks, then you just lost the argument because you're claiming that 30 to 40% of Americans are racist that believe they are superior to blacks. So you're
What I'm saying is probably 30 to 40% of white Americans. And,
whites or
30
whites?
to 40%.
White or white?
Of black Americans think that on average,
that's untrue.
White people are smarter than black people. Now, that doesn't mean that you have any black people.
Find me those black people who believe that. That's just a made-up silly statistic.
You said to me once,
30 to 40% of blacks believe that
in fact, there are polls that will suggest that black
taken by a white man.
So everything white.
No, he's not wrong about this. I mean, I've talked about this before on my podcast, how I really do believe a lot of these polls and statistics are created by Poindexters who can't get laid and are going to try to rationalize why they could get laid, but you can't get laid. And a lot of the ways, it's still this desire, this Slaneshian desire to want to have something that you ought not to have, whether it be amazing sex with no procreation, by the way. I mean, it's one thing to have procreative sex. It's another thing to have sex that just doesn't go anywhere, right? But a lot of these guys, again, they're not getting any pussy. They're not getting any laid. And they're frightened of idiocracy. Like, oh, how dare you fuck Chad? Well, she's going to suffer the natural consequences, isn't she? What you need to understand is that a lot of these women are degenerate because they basically have been raised to believe that nothing they do is wrong. But I find it very interesting that this guy is still around. And by the way, what the fuck is with the fedora? Why are you trying to make Gavin look better than you?
Well, this was way back a little bit, so... Like, what was he dressed as before? Like, in the video, he's right here. He's wearing a cap right there.
He's carrying a cap. What is this about? Play it again?
You get explosive disorder. What the fuck? Intermittent explosive disorder or some shit like that. So what happens is you go extra, and then afterwards you feel real bad and sad about it, and you feel you fucked up, and you're kind of like fuck, like you're supposed to keep your cool. So I want to apologize about my outburst because that was a little crazy. And
I outbursted too, man. Now you have to sing the Peace, Love, and Harmony song together in a collaboration.
And the thing that sucks is that, that's the clip they take, and look, it's fucking. So it is what it. But you know what? I don't give a fuck anyway. What are you gonna do? Ruin my life? I don't care. Put a clip of me going crazy. My kids.
I don't know this guy out of anything other than this interview with Tim and Jared Taylor. I don't know him anywhere else.
I don't know him either. I don't know my Tony Hawk's Underground. Did they even play that fucking game? I don't remember it. I remember Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but he's wearing camo now, militant. Apparently he is. He's wearing like I think it's like army fatigues. Like the little, which look good, by the way. They look pretty good on him. No,
Let's
but
see.
like, I'm more concerned.
His last video was with Lil Nas X, which I think was the guy who is a homosexual rapper who had been sitting with him in The Devil or something.
Yeah, the satanic rapper apparently, which we're gonna talk about.
A song called Mentero. I'm not gonna play it, but I'm gonna look up the lyrics. Although it might be a parody of that song. Let's see.
Give me 1 second. Michael Knowles. Michael Knowles. Yeah, Knowles. Yeah, Michael Knowles. Michael Knowles. Because Michael Knowles actually... Here we go. I got something for you. This is something that... I've been watching a lot more Michael Knowles as of late. See if I can find a clip of it here. Of Michael Knowles basically... Let's see. This is from 4 days ago. And I told you how they're going to constantly try to make... They're gonna ride the fame train or the outrage train to make Abigail Shapiro relevant. Here's an example of that. Yeah.
What is this?
Abby Shapiro just got in trouble. Abby Shapiro was not doing anything creepy or not. Abby Shapiro got in trouble for a tweet in which she called out this kind of thing. So Abby, for those of you who don't know, Abby is Ben's sister, obviously, friend of ours for many, many years, and Abby has her own channel called Classically Abby, where she advocates for a more traditional, normal kind of lifestyle. So she sent out this tweet, 2 pictures side by side. One is Nancy Reagan with her family, I guess at the Reagan Ranch, looks like it's at the Reagan Ranch. And one is of Madonna, who is now in her 60s, dressed up like she's a much younger woman doing much nastier things than 60-year-old women should be doing. Abby writes from Classically Abby account, "This is Madonna at 63, this is Nancy Reagan at 64, trashy living versus classy living. Which version of yourself do you want to be?" And she was pilloried for this. The tweet went viral. Writing in the Daily Beast.
The tweet went viral specifically because it's a false picture. It's no different than me going on to Poll and they show some fucking like really ugly, not really photogenic black guy, and then they show some really photogenic male fucking Norwegian model, right? And they say which way, women? It's a false dilemma. Now, what should be noted is that Ronald Reagan, Ronald Reagan had like 6 kids, I believe, with Nancy Reagan. But Nancy Reagan was crazy as well. She was a fucking big into horoscope and tarot. She was big into the psychic shit.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, according to my lefty source friend, she said that she sucked a mean dick as well. A mean Hollywood dick. But he addresses that. Keep playing.
Said that Classically Abby and her brother Ben, they're just boomers. They're like millennial boomers.
They are. Well, they're more like they're more akin to the Clintons and the Bushes because they have a dynasty that's political and they don't actually contribute anything to society.
Madonna, a boomer for her boomer lifestyle. You're apparently a boomer. And if you criticize libs for indulging it, you're apparently a boomer. Of course, the opposite would be true. But even just on... Then the left were attacking Nancy Reagan. They were pulling up some tabloid BS biography and saying that Nancy Reagan was actually herself promiscuous back in Hollywood, which is not true. There's no evidence of it. There were 2 actresses by the same name. Nancy Reagan's maiden name is Nancy Davis. There's another actress named Nancy Davis. There's no evidence that Nancy Reagan, the lady who became Nancy Reagan, was ever promiscuous. There is a fair bit of evidence that the other Nancy Davis was, perhaps. And so anyway, they're just getting that wrong, and then the left they're making all these sorts of ugly claims about Nancy Reagan. But furthermore, anyone who is claiming that they would rather be like Madonna, alone on a bed, dressed up like a hooker, she's dressed up like a hooker to be sexually provocative in her 60s, that's what you want to be rather than having your family around you dressed up like a normal, respectable person on your nice ranch. They're lying to you. That's
bullshit. And again, this has nothing to do with Nancy Reagan. This has nothing to do with Madonna. This is everything with them trying to push Abigail. They're trying their hardest to get Abigail to be relevant, and she's not. She really isn't. And I say this for two reasons. One, Ronald Reagan had 6 kids. Guess how many kids Madonna had? She had 2. 2. And she adopted, I believe it was 4 others. So she has 4 in total. Now, if you want to make the argument, well, they're not her prodigy. Okay, fine. That's fair. But she had kids, and she got there by herself. She got to her with her own talents. She got there with her own musical talent, her own career, and everything. Yeah, of course, it's a cup thing, right?
This is when adopting African children was a rage in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, exactly. This is back when adopting some little black kid from fucking Zimbabwe was like picking up a poodle or something. It was 4 of them. Yeah, 4 of them. Yeah, I know, right? 4 of them. Not to say, again, going back to what I was saying, it's a false dilemma. It's not a representation of reality. And even Nancy Reagan was very big into psychics. She was very much she was big into the horoscope, big into the psychic crap. Keep going.
All right.
Lie. Established titles is your opportunity to earn the title. Lord
you hear about this being Lord and Lady thing in the advertisements?
The Lord?
Yeah, Lord and Lady thing. They buy a piece of land in Ireland. You get to be an official lord.
Why would I want to be a part of that?
It's a sponsor thing, I guess. It's an
ego thing.
Your humble host, Lord Michael Knowles. All you need is a 1 square foot plot of land and a certificate. Established Titles is a project based on an historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds, or lords and ladies in English.
Oh, so it's a fun thing just to buy.
It's basically, you're going to be the Lord of Castle Anthrax, right? Or Island Anthrax.
Let's see. Here we go. Here's the end.
Promo code Knowles to save an extra 10% today. If you really think you'd rather be dressed up like a hooker on a bed alone at age 63 rather than standing around your nice family with everyone who loves you and dressed normally, then either that is evidence of a disordered will. Your will has been so corrupted, maybe by porn or maybe just by a lot of bad ideas and a lot of bad behaviors in your life.
Jack Murphy.
It's just a fatal
Now keep going.
Dose of copium. You are lying to yourself and trying to cope with your own bad views and decisions and way that you've lived your life.
But Madonna hasn't really messed up her life. I mean, yeah, she's a celebrity.
She hasn't. And again, that's why I keep saying they are trying their hardest to make Ben Shapiro's sister relevant. She's like the Jeb Bush of the Shapiros. She really is.
Please clap.
Please, this is what this is.
At least she has a pretty face to add to it, though, and she can sing.
I don't know. She has a pretty big nose, and even that, and that's not that's not being racist. She literally does have like a protruding nose.
But that's anti-Semitic. You can't say that.
It's not anti-Semitic, though. She does. It's not a fucking racist thing to say. Like if you were to look at her. She looks like a male Shapiro. Like actually Shapiro has a smaller nose than she does.
Let's see. Here's a more. I think this is a more of a carefully crafted picture of her. Let me see if I can find a normal picture of her.
If you get to the side view, if you could.
Here we go.
There we go. Yeah, she's okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's cute. That's good looking. But the real reason why Ben Shapiro is doing this, and the reason I think it's happening, is because, believe it or not, Ben Shapiro kind of killed his entire family's chance of making it big in Hollywood. Him being a conservative has simultaneously killed his kid's chance, and his entire bloodline tribe's chance of fucking getting into Hollywood. And you say, and we say this tribe, I'm talking about the Shapiro family. Because at this point, anybody who says they're a Shapiro at Hollywood, they're going to immediately do a background check to see if you're related to Ben. And if you're related to Ben, you're not getting the part. And guess what? Abigail has some talent. She does. She's a great singer, great pianist. I don't know about the Kaiser Milkers, where the fuck you want to call them, but that's just me. That's just, again, she's only relevant because of her brother. That's it. and also the fact that everyone wants to fuck her or hate fuck her, including Jack Murphy. Keep going. What?
Here it is. Let's see. Abigail Shapiro doing "Hello, oh Margaret, it's you."
Oh, goody.
Ooh, nice voice.
She has talent. She does. It just that I'm getting sick and tired. Like it used to be, you used to know someone who knows someone who can get you that part. Shapiro doesn't know anybody except conservatives. His entire life has been invested in being a politician or trying to be a political activist. I mean, say what you will about Vosh. At least Vosh gets paid for his stuff. Shapiro doesn't have a future outside of politics. He doesn't. Neither does Abigail. And it's going to get to the point where these people have a dynasty, no different than the Clintons or the Bushes. And again, I like Shapiro. Okay, I think he's hit or miss sometimes, but ultimately, this is the reason why they're making Abigail relevant, because she has needs, giggity, and Shapiro has managed to basically stunt those needs because of his political machinations. And the reason that happens is because, let's be frank, these people punish people collectively. These leftists punish Shapiro and all the Shapiros just because of one Shapiro doing something wrong. Nice tits, by the way. I'm just saying.
Hello, what did you say, my darling? What did you say?
Very expressive face too.
Yeah, she has a very well. It's probably because she's trained to be on the stage, and part of being on the stage is performing, not just like your voice, but all of your body. She's probably like a good method actor, for example.
Nobody.
Although I wouldn't want her to. I don't know if I really want her to be in what movies are these days. They're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like the only thing I want to go to see in the theater is Pixar and Disney, and even that's negotiable because of Disney's like little genocide connections.
Oh, dude, honestly, I'm actually, you know what? I'm gonna go see The Matrix soon. I haven't gone to the movies since Joker, right? Since Joker came out, I haven't went to go see the movies. I'm gonna go see The Matrix soon. I think I'm gonna do that for Christmas. I think when I get off work on the final day of this week's worth of work, I'm gonna go see The Matrix, and I will review it for you guys. I'll tell you if it's worth seeing. I'll tell you because keep in mind, it used to be the Wachowski brothers. Now it's Lana Wachowski. So like the character, I think it was the dyke character, the white-haired chick, right? That was originally supposed to be a guy, but in the Matrix, she's a girl. So it's sort of like they were trying to play with that gender fluidity shit back in the 90s, but they didn't.
Someone told me that the Matrix is supposed to be a metaphor for transsexuality, and I don't see how that's possible.
Okay, so I think in the original movie, the white chick that's not a Trinity, right? The other chick who dies.
What's her name?
Not Tank.
I remember, but I don't know.
Switch, I think her name is Switch.
Yeah.
Switch from the Matrix. If I could find Switch. Matrix.
Switch, of course.
Yeah, Switch from the Matrix. She was supposed to be a transgender. Her character was supposed to be. She literally would switch because she was supposed to be a. Actually, let me pull it up. This is from the Nerd Lists. You can actually read this.
There she is. The one who holds a gun at Neo and says, "It's our way or the highway."
Yep. Lily Wachowski on The Matrix Switch as a trans character. Yeah, that character was supposed to be originally trans, and I could totally see it. You
mean wait? You mean to tell me you're in a scenario where humans are fighting against the machines and on the verge of extinction, and you're gonna go into transsexuality? Really?
Well, I'll explain. No, it's more like the fact that this character was basically her digital self-image. I think it was supposed to be that of a male, but she, in the real world, was actually a female. If that makes any sense.
The explanation in the beginning, like what did they call it? A digital form of the projected form of your digital self.
Yes, and that's where they got it. So in the Matrix, she's a woman, but in real life, she's a man, or something along those lines.
Huh.
I will go into Gameson says I will go into the theater for John Wick 4. Nothing will get in the way of that. Okay, good luck. Except like literally, in a way, it kind of is John Wick 4, isn't it? I mean, I hate to say it, but like they didn't shave fucking Neo. He's gonna show up just as like.
Isn't he dead?
Well, Neo's dead apparently.
He
That's why I think
sacrificed
it's-
himself to defeat Agent Smith.
Yeah,
Why is he
exactly.
still alive?
Well, probably because there's going to be a lot of questions I have. Like, I think that the new Matrix film is going to have. I think it's going to take place in a paradise Matrix. So it's going to be very much a Brave New World sort of scenario. That everyone's taking pills to feel good about themselves and wonderful. They're going to go really hard on big pharma, I think. But I also, at the same time, I do believe that they are cloning people. Because keep in mind, humans are not born; they're grown. So they very well could grow a bunch of Neos and a bunch of Trinities. Why wouldn't they? But then that opens up a plot hole.
If they could have cloned anybody, why did they clone like this whole population? Why didn't they just clone the same person over and over again to ensure that they wouldn't emerge?
And if they did emerge, there'd be no one for them to mate with. Like, could they make them all sterile? They just need them for their thermoelectricity, right?
But apparently the whole point of the Matrix is that the human brain has to be pushed in somewhere, which I don't know why. Why can't you just keep them comatose?
So that metaphor is a fan-made headcanon made into an actual canon because the Wachowskis, yeah, exactly. So we're going to move on from Ben Shapiro's sister into something a bit more useful, something that happened. By the way, for those of you who want to follow me still, my media is linked in the description. I have Travo, I have DLive, I have Twitter, and I have Odyssey out there. You can subscribe to me there. I wanted to talk, let's see, besides that, we went over the human breeders. Okay, so since we're talking about the whole Matrix thing, do you know what an egg is?
Like EGG egg, right?
Yeah, EGG egg.
Yeah, what about it?
Do you know what egg mode is?
No, what is egg mode?
So I learned this from Dev from what was it? It was the question of what is a slur? Like, is a trap a slur, for example?
Oh.
So he talked about this. I didn't even know about this before.
What is this?
So this is what an egg. So an egg or egg mode is an internet and LGBTQ plus slang used to describe transgender individuals who do not realize they are a transgender person yet, or are in denial about being a transgender individual.
Oh wow, LGBTQE. That covers everybody and everybody who's not everybody.
So this really scared the fuck out of me because when I first heard this, when they were talking about the slurs, they were talking about how trap is considered a racial, is like apparently a slur against transgender people.
Yeah, which is connected to the whole Crack Earth scenario with Vosh.
Yeah.
And,
so when I was Hassan, I think his name is Hassan Piker, I believe.
Yeah, Cenk Uyghur's nephew.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the reasons I bring this up about the whole egg mode thing is because it's really scary. Because it's one thing to assume that somebody is gay. It's another thing to assume that somebody doesn't know or is in denial about being a girl or a boy.
The term is best compared to, quote, the closet, a term used referring to the state of secrecy and insecurity of one's homosexuality, with hatching having a similar meaning as coming out. That's not... Oh.
This is some dangerous shit, because you could very well say that, Luke, because your love of art and because you wear a ponytail and because of a bunch of other things that I'm not going to say on the internet because I want to keep you a bit more anonymous, you are actually secretly a trap. You're secretly transgender. And you deny he's an egg mode. He doesn't deny it, and you just constantly bully this person until they fucking become a transgender. Until they become Jack Murphy. Okay? Like, that's base.
Oh, this is dumb. I bet it's sinister, but dumb. Oh, Dashing, you still there? Uh-oh. Oh no, my internet's falling apart. I think. Are you guys still with us? Oh no, my browser's crashing. What happened? Oh no. Why is my weirdo...
This is from...
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Yeah, my internet just crashed for a second, so what did you just say?
Oh, basically, we got to keep an eye on this transgender meme. We have to keep an eye on it for two reasons. One, because these people will use this to bully people into becoming transgender, to bully people into taking hormone therapy, and say you just are out of the closet. You need to get out of the closet. You need to accept yourself for who you really are. And we're going to tell you who you really are.
Oh, then that goes back to the whole little elementary
Grooming thing.
grooming situation that happened a little while ago.
I am the Eggman, exactly. You are the Eggman. And Dugan's the walrus. Cuckoo Cachoo. Luke, you need to hum the Please Stand By music. I don't know. I don't know how you get hum. What the hell is Please Stand By music?
Well, I think it's this song I have from Earthworm Jim, where it's just basically the elevator music of hell.
Oh. Maybe. Here you go. Here you go, Luke. Pulling this up here. This is for you.
Yeah, but like I said before we got cut off, it's stupid but sinister. Yeah.
It is sinister, and it could be used that way. So this is the first thing that comes up. This is from a Ashley X Adamson. She has 8,000 subs, so I guess I'm punching up because I have less subs than her. By the way, subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get this shit done.
She looks kind of familiar.
Assuming it's a she.
Okay. Last one for this
never
week.
mind.
No, she's not. Stay as far away from that.
What's it like to be an egg? So
Yeah, and not to be too horrible, but I can see he's trying to cover up his hairline.
Yeah, it's hairline. It's hairline. This critter's hairline. We're gonna call it a critter because we don't want to assume it's gender or it's sexual orientation or it's species.
I will. I don't care anymore. I don't. I will.
Critter. All right, critter. Go on, critter.
It's been a while.
We cannot allow these products of John Money to run society. No, this has to stop.
Amen. Death to Slaneshi demons.
The guy, Mike Rolfe, Michael Rufo, the guy who's exposing critical race theory. He said they did a long trick to the institutions. We need to smash them out of the institutions, violently take them over again.
Amen. More power to you.
It's been I started hormones 2 years and maybe 8 or 9 months ago.
Translation: I'm poisoning myself.
You're killing yourself, yeah. But we're not modeling this person, by the way. Keep going.
Even when I was on hormones, I was still an egg. Isn't that funny? Yeah, I still didn't believe I was a woman.
Well, then why are you taking the hormones?
Why are you taking the hormones? Because she was probably being bullied by the other people who use this egg terminology to fucking get people to say, "Oh yeah, you're trans. Accept it, bigot. You're a girl. Accept it, bigot. You're a boy. Accept it, bigot. You're trans."
That's scary. That is scary.
That's why I wanted to talk about it on this podcast, because that shit, they will do that shit. You know, people. We're gonna move into, because we're wrapping up here, but want to just keep going.
So my egg was sort of like this multifaceted egg, like a Russian doll, where you open it and there's another one inside, and then you open that one. It's like I had my man shell, and I opened that and was like, oh, I'm non-binary. But then I opened that and it's like, oh my God, ta-da, you're a woman. And then you open that and it's like, ta-da, you're a woman with a spiritual purpose, and you have this destiny, and this is who you are, and this is where you're going, and this is what you want to do. And then you open that egg and you go, wow, I didn't realize there was another level to experiencing myself as a woman and as a being, and you kind of go with that. And I opened that one up and it was like, oh my God, like my connection with the universe and nature.
New age, never, not even once, man. We got to step up as Christians and kick the New Age back into the East. Just fucking, there's a reason why China got rid of all their cultural artifacts. It's because it's degenerate shit that basically destroys civilization and empowers the individual at the expense of civilization. Keep going.
Go to the other background. So, yeah, there's been many layers, but I think most relevant for you guys and girls and non-binary folks is what it's like being an egg. So it's funny once you realize that you're trans, because everything that you look back on looks different. You suddenly have a new lens to see things with. And things that seemed really small that you didn't really pay any notice or attention to suddenly become very, very obvious. For example, I remember looking in the mirror and saying, gosh, you would be really beautiful as a woman, but you're not a woman, so I guess that's too bad. Oh, well. Yeah, everyone has these kinds of thoughts, don't they?
I didn't.
I mean, I've thought about what would happen if I was like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII in that one scenario where he has to sneak in and get like dress up as a girl. I thought of that scenario with the intent of infiltrating in a place. It's basically a comedy sketch at this point.
Yeah,
There's always that one guy who dresses as a Muslim wearing a fucking like turban or something like that.
It's a Bugs Bunny skit. Like Bugs Bunny dresses. Yeah, Bugs Bunny dresses up like a girl all the time to fool Elmer Fudd. Elmer Fudd's too stupid to tell.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do. That's what I think about. But I never once thought, hey, you know what? That tutu looks really freaking rocking. I might pick you up and buy one.
And even Daffy Duck calls him out at one time. He says, "Surely you're not going to be taken in by that old gag, isn't she lovely?"
Jeez.
Ugh.
Hello? No, they don't. If they did, then I think everyone would be so much more accepting of trans people because they'd be like, oh yeah, we all have these thoughts.
Okay, so so she's he's talking about his experience and the being an egg and the realizations he's having.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of this stuff, keep in mind, is again, it's just what people are saying about them. It's not actually. Again, there's no way to actually prove this.
Self-reported.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think, like, if you are an egg, but it's unlikely that you are, but I remember being like an egg, and that was the first thing, was just these thoughts that I normalized about my trans identity that I didn't realize I was trans. And there's sort of like this distance, this huge cognitive distance, depending on where you're at, which is not being able to even accept the idea that you could be trans. Like, oh, that's for other people, or oh, those are for these kinds of people, or that's definitely not me because I'm comfortable in my current gender that I am in. Is that something that you've ever said to yourself? Is that something you've ever experienced? These are.
I'm comfortable in the skin I'm in. Yeah, I've heard of it.
That would never be even a reasonable topic until just relatively recently. No one would ever suggest that, ever.
No one would. Yep.
Poor kids who have to grow up with this lying, not with this nonsense.
Oh yeah, and the whole egg thing. We're gonna get into that for a second because there are people in California and Salinas of all places. And Salinas, for those of you who don't know, Salinas is like a Mexican town. It's a migrant town. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the teachers, and this is from the liberals of TikTok. Here you go. Let me pull this up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. This is on the topic of, we got to wrap this up soon, but this is on the topic of transgender. This is what the teachers are being told.
Oh, boy.
This is why we have
go.
to fight back against the eggs, the eggheads. Here you go.
What are we looking at here?
Play it.
Oh, yes.
Play it.
Act as if they have nothing wrong. They've done nothing wrong. A mistake? How long of a mistake? How many mistakes are we going to take before my child almost lost her life? They didn't tell me that my child. You allowed these teachers to open their classrooms, teaching predatory information to a young child, a mindful child that doesn't even know how to comprehend it all. How do you not know what was going on your own campuses? Did you think that no parent would ever come forward? You will not quiet me today. I will stand here today and protect my child along with every other child who has not come forward yet. Do they have psychiatry degrees that I was unaware of? Because I didn't.
Who cares?
Okay, I did not.
Who cares? Like, if they have psychiatry degrees, is irrelevant. You don't want this happening to your kid. It doesn't matter how they rationalize it either. It doesn't matter if they say, I'm a doctor, just shut up and let me do what I want to your kid. You have dominion over your child. This is, again, who cares what the professionals say? Keep going.
To hire them to sit there and nitpick my child's brain. You took away my ability to parent my child, even before I had any knowledge. I didn't even get to show support. You asked for support, I didn't get a chance. You planted seeds, Miss Caldera and Miss Baraki, Mr. Baraki, and you, Miss Tagarin. Your job was to educate my child in math, science, English, etc. Do your job and let me do mine. They assumed that my child needed your aid and resources. They pushed it in the face. And tonight, I will stick up for her. Miss Caldera, you're guilty. Miss Baraki, you're guilty. You changed her personal documentation, her gender, her name, her email. I authorized an AKA added to her attendance because I wanted to be supportive. But guess what? She's allergic to bees. Her medical record says a birth name, and you changed it. Who administers that now? Not everything, not me. You guys did this on your own accountability and you've gone too far. They downgraded me in front of my child and allowed me to question myself as a mother. You sat there and told me how my child was gonna be. And then you wrapped your hands around her while I sat across the table and cried. Because you thought you could be there better than I, and I never got a chance. She was scared to even say anything. Your guys' voice were heard, not hers.
Will convert your children, won't they? That's what they're doing. They're converting the kids. That's what they're doing.
Thank you for letting the mask slip, you freaks.
Yep.
Our straight A student, she's our smart one. And she happens to be the subject for me tonight. She was the one that, she's a straight A student all of her life. She's now entered into high school, a straight A student. And yeah, she's the one that's confused because she was coached. And if you're the victim, you can't speak. You can't say what's happening in your life. My daughter.
Poor dad, he has his microphone cut.
Yeah, the poor father basically he's trying to be reasonable about it because the mother's ready to kill. The mom is ready to start just ripping out fucking hair and everything. Fur's gonna fly. But this guy in Connecticut, here we go.
What's this?
Teacher pushes him, and the fucking father, like the true Chad that he is. Wait, Luke. Bow. Know your place in the hierarchy, bitch.
Terrorists, help me, terrorist.
Yeah, and again, this guy, like, there may be a reason why I'm here in Silicon Valley, in the fucking front line. You know, you guys, part of me thinks that I'm going to be here to see that the people who fucked me over in high school, and yeah, I actually got screwed over by these type of SJWs. You know, say what you will about the SJWs online, you didn't have to live with them in high school and have to watch them mature and watch your friends and your loved ones and your fucking best friends that you know all your life basically get converted into SJWs, and because you didn't play along, because something deep in your core of your being, whether it be the Holy Spirit, God, or some natural law getting activated, saying fuck this shit, and then you get thrown in the fucking crazy house because you don't play ball. Well, let me just say this. I remember people's names. To quote our president, our 35th president, John Fitzroy Kennedy, forgive your enemies, but remember their names. And I'm going to name every single piece of shit out there who helped enable this crap, especially those within San Jose Unified. So when they get pushing, when they want names, I'm going to name names. And I know their names because you remember your enemies' names. You forgive them, but you remember them for this very reason. Keep going, Luke.
Don't mess with other people's kids. You just can't do it.
Yeah, just stop with the fucking gender bullshit. And keep in mind, a lot of these guys are gay. A lot of these people who are pushing this crap are gay, and they are so fucked up in the head that they have like this like predatory urge. It's not really a predatory urge, but it manifests as predatory. But it's the desire to try to raise kids. Everyone has that natural desire, whether it be the women from Germany who try to, be nice to the migrants because they see them as kids, and they're really not kids. So they have that like predatory, dangerous pathological altruism. Same thing here. But these people don't have kids. These teachers don't have any children, and they're going to fucking prey upon yours. So keep them close. Keep going.
Are you drunk? You're fucking pushing people and starting shit? What are you doing? Are you okay?
He's wearing a cardigan. Why? The fucking faggot's wearing a cardigan. Keep going.
Putting your hands on people. You're on the board of ed. Calm down, separate. Board of ed.
Yeah, he deserves to get punched. He deserved it. So besides the teachers basically fighting back, let's see what else we got here. We have two more topics, Luke. I'm sorry for making this a little bit longer than usual, guys, but I wanted to get through this as quickly as I can. Now we're going to do lightning round. Since we're going into California news, we're going to go into the rest of California news, then we're going to go into Ukraine, because apparently the guy from, you'll see when we get to it. So besides that, here's the latest trends of cuckoldry coming out of California. It's not nearly as bad as actual cuckoldry that Jack Murphy takes place in. And we're going to continuously bash Jack. Sorry,
oh yeah,
Jack.
he's never going to escape this. He has to own it, or he'll just haunt him for the rest of his life.
Yep. And the problem here is he's doing all that magical shit. And for him to own it is for him to basically be responsible for it. And magicians never want to take responsibility for their own actions. They have a very Frankenstein, Dr. Victor Frankenstein type of ideal behind it. So
because they would have to admit that reality exists.
Yep. This is from Bay Area News. So play it, Luke.
What is this about?
Cars open or the hatch on their SUV open.
Bay Area car breaks-in are on the rise, promoting some auto owners to leave their trunks open. Wow.
Yeah, Brandy, this shows how bad the problem is and how desperate some shoppers are getting. We're seeing this primarily up in the Bay Area. People are literally leaving the trunks of their cars open or the hatch on their SUV open. And the idea is that thieves will see there's nothing worth taking in the car and they won't be smashing windows and rummaging through vehicles. And that may be one answer, but the downside, of course, is that it also makes it really easy to steal somebody's car.
Wow, we're in different times. That's unbelievable. I mean, if they leave their trunk open, some cars, depending on what kind of car you have, you still can get inside to the interior.
Yeah, a lot of newer cars, those back seats fold down into the trunk. It's real easy to go through the trunk into the vehicle and then steal the car. So that's a real concern for these people who are taking this action. But again, it illustrates how bad the crime problem is and how desperate people are becoming. So far, we really haven't seen it here in Southern California, but who knows the way things are going. People are really, really getting desperate out there.
So people are literally in California, Silicon Valley specifically, the Bay Area, they're fucking opening they're leaving their car doors open, their latches open, their trunks open to show that we have nothing. Don't rob us. Don't hurt me, Daddy. Don't hurt me. Don't spank me. Don't steal from me. You have that, and then of course you also have the fact that apparently they're urging more people to get booster shots because to fight that Omicron crap. Here you go. Here's from Bay Area News.
Oh, someone in my Discord actually shared this little clip to me, and I think it's embodiment of, if I could just get to open, of what the Omicron variant is. Oh, it's frozen. What is it?
Omicron?
Yeah, Omicron. What is this?
The Omni-Man variant. The Omni-Man. I'm gonna call it Omni-Man.
Omni-Man.
The Omni-Man variant.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. If I could get to play. Oh, never mind. What is this?
Omicron cases so far, and that, of course, is just the beginning. County's health officer says she expects here in the Bay Area, Santa Clara County has 10 Omicron cases so far, and that, of course, is just the beginning. County's health officer says she expects
cases, nothing else.
Cases, nothing else. And what if Joe Rogan became a transsexual cannibal? That implies he isn't already. Okay, keep going.
Deluge of Omicron cases.
NBC Bay Area's Ian Cole is live at the Santa Clara County Fairgrounds. Ian, a strong push from Dr. Sarah Cody to get people vaccinated and boosted.
Yeah, it certainly is, Janelle and Audrey. And Dr. Cody might be happy to see actually here at the county fairgrounds that is one of the main sites to get a vaccine or a booster. There's been a constant flow of people in and out all day long. Dr. saying since Omicron is here, she expects this could be one of the most challenging periods of the pandemic.
Today, I wanted to provide an update.
Santa Clara County now has 10 confirmed Omicron variant cases. Health officer Dr. Sarah Cody says on a wider scale, they've also been testing for it in the county's 4 sewage sites. Last week, they detected Omicron in one site. Now it's showing up in all 4.
When I look around the corner ahead, what I see is a deluge of Omicron.
So far, cases appear to be mild, but today their message is 2 shots are not enough. 80% of the entire county is now vaccinated, but only 44% have a booster.
Those who are 50 years and older are at highest risk, and that is the population we absolutely want to make sure have gotten their booster or are planning to get one.
Health leaders point to Denmark and the UK that have vax rates similar to California, but are seeing COVID cases spike right now. The UK is usually an indication of what we can expect in the coming weeks. But still, Dr. Cody says there are no plans to tighten health restrictions in the South Bay.
We've not
Good. Now, I'll tell you this, though. Since that shit's right next door to the Santa Clara Health County, I'm right next to that. I could very well go down there and get I could probably sneak in and get a couple of copies of the fucking vaccine passport, whatever the fuck it is. Get the paper itself, and that way I could actually do my own little doodles. Not to say that I would actually do it. I'm not doing it. It's just arts and crafts. Keep going.
little small mandates or changes around who can do what in what setting. Rather, we're really focusing an all-out effort to let the public know how important it is to get a booster.
With Omicron here and travel season underway, there was a steady stream of people coming to get boosted at the county fairgrounds.
We're going to take a trip down to Southern California over the holidays, and just wanted that, extra layer of protection that is pretty readily available. So no real excuse not to do it.
Except,
President County is also urging people to check in with their healthcare providers first for a booster instead of booking an appointment through a county site if you can. So in that case, so it won't overwhelm the county's system. We're live at Santa Clara County Fairgrounds. Ian Cole, NBC, Bay Area News.
So besides that, things are changing here in California. Things are changing. They're getting better because, now they're having to look in the sewers. And, let's be frank, everything's in the sewers. The fucking Black Plague is in the fucking sewers. But one of the good things, and this is something that I'm actually happy about, because in Santa Clara County, Sheriff Laurie Smith, this bitch right here, you can put her picture of this whore up there. And by the way, the only question I have for her is the current match the Drakes? What's this lip? What do you have here?
Here's a clip from the White House.
We are intent on not actually, I'll do it in JFK's voice. We are intent on not letting Omicron disrupt and our work and school for the vaccinated. You're done the right thing, and we will get through this. For the unvaccinated, you're looking for a winter of severe illness and death for yourselves and your family, and the hospitals may very well soon be overwhelmed. Which is bullshit, because let me just say this, though. I have a friend who has, if you guys can do a prayer for a gentleman by the name of Daniel. His name is Daniel. I'm not going to say his last name, but can you do a prayer for him? He has, pneumonia. I don't know why he has pneumonia. I just know he has pneumonia. I've been trying to contact him, but I haven't been able to get a hold of him. But this whore, Laurie Smith, this bitch, she's being indicted for corruption by the civil guard of jury. Now, why is she being hit for corruption? Well, apparently, if you wanted to, it's been an open secret, if you wanted to get a CCW in California, or at least in Silicon Valley, Santa Clara County, you'd have to donate $10,000 to this fucking whore's re-election campaign, or else chances are you're not going to be able to get access to a CCW permit.
Yes, I remember this.
This bitch, there's the curtain match that drapes Laurie. I gotta ask you. I gotta ask for the press, because people have to know. Because if you are, and also, are you an egg? She's an egg, isn't she? Well, I might actually start weaponizing the egg rhetoric. I actually might do it to my enemies just so I can fuck with them. I know Jack's definitely an egg. I know that. He's definitely a fucking egghead. But yeah, apparently they're gonna go after the sheriff now, because there's gonna be a new sheriff in town, and the new sheriff could very well be crazy Kamala Harris type of person, like no, you didn't. You remember that clip? Do you have that clip up, Luke, where she basically started doing the finger wagging, saying, "Now don't you act like a Republican." Like that. And she basically was, again, the guy was literally asking, "Hey, is Joe Biden president or is Joe Manchin president?" And she took it offensive. She did the whole Karen thing. She's like, "No, you didn't."
Fire's back after hosts of where's that clip? Where is it?
Come on.
Oh, where's that clip? I gotta find it. It's hilarious.
This bitch right here. Let's see if I can find the clip. I want to see if Google has the actual GIF of it. The GIF of her wagging her finger. Let's see if I can find it here. Because I let me just say this: would you bang Kamala? I might actually bang Kamala.
I don't want to answer that.
Neither do I. Because let me just say this: I might end up in a gulag. But she started doing this whole finger wagging shit and doing the whole like angry black woman kind of shit. She did. She literally was doing the Shaniqua, don't do that. You go, girlfriend. Don't go there, little man.
Let's see. Oh, I don't have the clip. Where are you?
I got the clip.
I would love to have the clip somewhere.
Ugh. Fucking degenerate. Let me see if I can find it here. Because we're almost done. We're almost done. Because we're gonna talk about the Black Rifle Coffee Company. Give me a break. See if I can find it here. Black Rifle Coffee, or as I like to call it, the Spooky Firearm Incorporated. Let's see if I can find it here. Where's the bookmarks? Ooh, where is it? Bookmarks for Kamala. Where is she? I don't have it. Damn. Anyhow, we'll just move on to we'll just move on from here because apparently
there she is.
There she is. She's doing the
in all her glory.
Yep. So apparently, the Ukraine's army FM radio on the front line against cyber Russia's information warfare. This is what Black Rifle Coffee is talking about, because I think Black Rifle Coffee might actually very well be the main source for all this crap that's going on in the Ukraine. Because again, for the record, ladies and gentlemen, I am pro-Ukraine. I'm pro-independent Ukraine. Fuck, like the people who make the claim of, oh, how dare you there are a bunch of people who want to be part of the Ukraine. Well, guess what? There are people in America who want to be part of Mexico. Doesn't mean you give up Nevada, Arizona, and fucking California to the Mexicans.
This is Comedy Central.
Oh yeah, it's Central. Oh, even as a freaking gamer chair.
Let's see, where are you? Where's that clip? Black folks confused as workers 4 times more likely. Okay.
And we need to improve that. Again, I've been talking with folks around the country. I job done.
Absolutely. You know, you get a lot of criticism. More criticism than any VP I've seen in recent memory. But there's nothing you
BS. Okay, because Mike Pence never got criticism.
Done on your.
Pence is a fucking, I don't know. I don't like Pence. He stabbed us in the back.
Mike Pence's worst day as VP. But you seem to get crucified for every little thing in the media. Why do you think that is?
Because she's a cackling hyena. That's why.
Yeah, she is a hyena.
There's definitely healthy discussions that I believe others to have about that. But the president and I care deeply about. It was raising their young children and taking care of their parents. And it is impossible where we expanded the child tax credit. A lot of the way
we know Joe Manchin is ruining this country. The stuff he's holding up progress on are hurting people. They're hurting black people in particular. If Democrats allow Joe Manchin to continue to do this, how do you convince black people to come out and continue to vote for y'all? He's holding up progress. We know this.
Hey, Charlamagne, here's the thing, though. I think it's a mistake to try and think about this only through the lens of Democrats versus Democrats, when the fact is Republicans are consistently and unanimously standing in the way of progress.
Very true.
Yeah, where? Like, have you seen that New York Times video?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, the New York Times recently had an opinion piece video where he's pointing out everywhere Democrats have absolute control, they make everything worse.
Yep.
Let's see, New York Times.
Find it here.
Let's see. The liberal hypocrisy. Well, I mean, this is no news for us, but still.
Keep playing it. Keep going it.
There's a question I've had for a very long time, and it has to do with this map. This is a map of the 18 states in the U.S. where Democrats control the legislative and executive branches, or else have some veto-proof majority in the legislature.
Should look like in those states, and that is an opportunity for them to implement their vision.
For this story, I also delved into this giant document. It is the 2020 Democratic Party platform. If you want to really understand what Democrats say they want, what their vision is for America, it's found inside of this document. This document serves as a guide. As we zoom into these states to answer this question, okay, so let's start with California. To me, California is like the quintessential liberal state. From the state legislature to the whole executive branch to most of the big cities, Dems hold majority control. So what do they do with all this power?
Looking at California, you have to look at housing.
Okay, now wait, listen. When I hear the words housing policy, I tend to sort of doze off, but Binya insists that housing policy and what is happening in California is definitely worth looking at.
You cannot say that you are against inequality in America unless you are willing to have affordable housing built in your neighborhood.
And Democrats completely agree. Here in this document, the word housing is mentioned over 100 times.
The neighborhood where you're born has a huge influence on the rest of your life. Children who are born in neighborhoods with degraded environmental conditions, with a lack of access to high quality public services, poor schools, poor public transit, are at a permanent disadvantage.
And they even say verbatim, housing in America should be stable, accessible, safe, healthy, energy efficient, and above all, affordable.
Housing is a human right. Housing is a human right.
The rent is going through the roof. Housing is a human right.
How does California do when it comes to housing?
You know where those signs are when you drive into a state that says, welcome to California? They might as well replace them with signs that say, keep out. Because in California, the cost of housing is so high that for many people, it's simply unaffordable. The state has simply, for the most part, stopped building housing. I mean, there are claims there's housing going up, but it has slowed down over time really, really sharply.
Because of zoning laws.
To keep pace with California's
a lot of it is zoning laws.
Is not enough housing, and too many people trying to get it. And the inevitable result is that prices have gone up and away.
So besides that, and besides all this other crap, she's just a bad actor. She's not good at what she does. That's one of the things you got to realize about Kamala Paula, is that, again, this is from Cernovich. Again, don't trust these motherfuckers. Many Ukrainians identify as Russian. Maps drawn on the line mean a lot less than you think. Some think. Really absurd and stupid that I have to say this, because it's not even common knowledge. Russia's annexation of Crimea was popular within that area, and I say to the piece of shit, as well as to Matt Forney, because let's just be frank with ourselves, Cernovich is a nationalist. If you just swapped it out, say many Americans identify as Mexican, maps drawn on the line really mean nothing. I basically say the same thing, but I swap it Ukraine with the United States and Russia with Mexico. And I play Mad Libs. This is how I did it as a kid. And it's really interesting to see how their logic just falls the fucking apart when the moment you call it out. Because that's exactly what this is. This guy is a shill for Russia. I believe that the Russians have bought off all the right wing. I think that there's enough degeneracy in the right wing that you could very well say this type of crap happens. That these people are bought by the Russians. I do believe that to be the case. Let me just see. So yeah, that's one thing I got to talk about. But besides that, and besides Jack Posobiec, let's see if I can find Jack Posobiec's tweet here. Are we going to
recollection that not one voted for the American Rescue Plan? Helped write with Cory Booker. So reading the presidential daily brief, instead of stepping up to say, save our democracy, and that means stop messing with people's right to vote like they're doing.
Got Democrats in the White House, got Democrats in the Senate, but it seems like a Democrat Joe Manchin is always blocking progress. Like if there's no hope in making Joe change, like why not say that so at least we know who the problem is? Because I feel like you get villainized the way I feel Senator Joe Manchin should. Me personally. In the media, you get villainized with silly things like earbuds when he's actually stopping progress. Why not just tell people that so we know who the problem is? They're pointing the fingers at the wrong people.
Because I'm telling you.
How desperate do you need to be to have an interview for the vice president to have an interview on Comedy Central?
Well, you do know that everyone still believes that Jon Stewart is running Comedy Central. So they still they like, again, I used to got my news exclusively from Jon Stewart back in the day when I didn't know any better. And then I got Young Turks, then I realized Young Turks is shit, and then I just moved on from that.
Nolan Peterson is a journalist based in Kiev, senior editor of the Coffee or Die magazine, which is online. He's also the author of the book Why Soldiers Miss War, a former soldier himself. Nolan, you've just been to the front once again, or down near it, with an extraordinary story. And before we begin, I want to play a clip from what is a fascinating report on civilians training to defend their homeland. Let's have a quick look.
Now we are training to forest fight, and we will use these skills for example.
Oh yeah, CNN in the shadow of that prostitution scandal.
Yep. Oh yeah, dude. There's a lot. Like at this point, I don't know whose side we should be on, but I know this: I'm on my side. Like, and my side is pro-Ukrainian, anti-Duganist, anti-globalist, pro-nationalist, anti-H-1B visa, and I'm an anti-degeneracy as well.
And remember, folks, Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. Don't think otherwise.
Don't think otherwise. Right? Keep going.
Example, if we have some...
He totally suicided himself from a bed that was a foot shorter than he was.
Yep.
Sabotage groups here, they infiltrate inside our territory. We will surround them, capture them, and destroy them.
Now, the remarkable thing is these are civilians. Explain more about what's going on in your report, what those you met are doing.
Right. So in case of a major Russian offensive, the Ukrainian military's plan to defend the country includes a network of territorial defense forces across the country, which includes civilian volunteer soldiers who will protect key locations, maintain law and order if there's martial law, and also perhaps to participate in resistance warfare operations. So on a very cold Saturday morning, I was able to go out and observe Kyiv's territorial defense force as they train to defend their city against a potential Russian invasion. And specifically, they're out there that day training against the threat of Russian sabotage groups.
It was extraordinary to see the variety of ordinary people with their own guns, by the way, hunting rifles and so on. Let's play another clip.
Yes, you love this. Yes, you love the cinematography of this clip.
Oh, it's basically the stuff that we covered last week with that one granny. There you go. Keep playing it.
Describe the mindset, the reasons that these people are standing up in this way. Ordinary people with day jobs and, as I said, bringing their own rifles along.
Yeah, and it was remarkable to see so many everyday Ukrainians who were willing to take up arms in their nation's defense. And that lady we just saw was 51 years old, and she was out there rolling around in the dirt with 20-year-old university students.
Awesome.
Training for war. You know, they provide their own weapons and ammunition. They're in charge of their own training, even though they fall under the regular military's chain of command.
Why isn't this guy on Fox?
That's the question. They said, are we going to talk about how weird the Black Rifle Coffee guy is going on CNN to now promote war in Ukraine? Well, there's the problem, Mr. Prosovic. You don't understand that this is a battle for the soul of the West. You have the pagans of the East with their little chaos sigils on them. And then you have people like us who are fighting amongst each other, trying to figure out who fucked who. You know, you have to understand war is inevitable at this point. Whether we fight the Chinese and Putin decides to take advantage of the situation and invade Ukraine, which we cannot lose the Ukraine. And people are saying, "Oh my God, well, Biden said he's already going to back down." He's not backing down. He's going to send in PMCs to fucking fight. He's going to send in private military companies, and you say, well, how he's going to arm them? Remember all that stuff we left in the Afghanistan? Yeah, that stuff's on the black market now. And Pajit doesn't need all, and Ahmed, they don't need all those EOTechs. They're going to sell some of those EOTechs. They're going to sell those Black Hawk helicopters. They're going to go on the black market, and then Ukraine will buy them. Probably from an arms dealer backed by the United States. But we don't talk about that, do we? Keep going.
But these civilian soldiers take the prospect of a Russian invasion deadly seriously. And it was clear to me after being out there and observing their training, and after having lived in Ukraine for 7.5 years, that if there is a Russian invasion, there will undoubtedly also be a civilian nationwide resistance war to repel that invasion force. And I personally fear that, such a nationwide civilian effort to force back Russia's invasion would create a humanitarian disaster that this continent probably hasn't seen in decades.
Yeah.
Not since the Holodomor. No, literally, that's probably the closest thing you can get besides Chernobyl, maybe. And even then, I don't know if you could count Chernobyl as a humanitarian disaster because of the Iron Curtain, right? Keep going.
I mean, did you sense that they are well aware of the risks and are just willing to accept that? Or as someone who knows war, as you do you think there was some naivety there, or they know what they're doing?
Well, this is a country that's already been at war for 7.5 years since Russia's 2014 effective invasion of the eastern Donbass region. So the people in Ukraine have a sober understanding of what war is. And in fact, in 2014, when Ukraine's regular military was on its heels during Russia's unconventional invasion of the Donbass, it was a nationwide civilian volunteer effort that allowed Ukraine's combined military to push back that Russian invasion of the Donbass. So all these years later, many Ukrainians have a very sober understanding of war. They don't take the risks of combat lightly. They don't have a naive or romantic idea of what war is. But they are ready to fight tooth and nail for every square meter of their country. And should Russia invade, they see that as an existential threat to their country's freedom, their democratic future. And so I have no doubt that they will fight if Russia invades.
Yeah, it's remarkable. And there was another gentleman there who just said that it's a duty. It's a duty that they have to do that. Do you feel, and you do live there, and you're interacting with Ukrainians, but with these people and others that you interact with, do they feel an invasion or incursion of some kind is likely, that it could really happen, as opposed to muscle flexing?
Yeah, so I think initially many Ukrainians were skeptical about the realistic possibility of an invasion. They're used to this limited, static trench war in the East now for 7.5 years. But the idea of a full-scale World War II style invasion of their country seemed a bit far-fetched at first. But now there's definitely been a shift, I would say, among many civilians, particularly among the combat veterans of the war in the Donbass. And there are about 430,000 combat veterans of that war now who are civilians. You see a shift, and they're starting to take this seriously. And that was very evident when I was out there with the Territorial Defense Force, that they, these are just people who have work weeks, and they have full-time jobs and families, and they're spending their entire Saturday out there in sub-zero temperatures, training to kick in doors and lay ambushes in the forest, because they see the prospect of a Russian invasion as something that's very likely, and they're willing to fight. And it's quite extraordinary to see among a post-Soviet society this respect and this desire to fight for freedom and fight for democracy. And so I think that this country has been through a lot, and the civilian population is certainly ready to hold their ground and defend what they've been fighting for already for 7.5 years.
It's a fascinating report, and people can find it on the Coffee or Die website as well. Great reporting as always, Nolan. Good to see you, Nolan Peterson in Kiev. Thanks.
Thank you for having me on.
And to make it all more interesting, I actually, we're going to close it with this before we continue. One of the things that I talked about before, and I know I'm gonna end it here, because we're gonna end it again. Luke, thank you for being a sport and being a champ for this. I know we've been rambling and we've been going on a lot here, but I've talked about how Call of Duty has kind of been a bit of propaganda before. And one of the reasons why I believe that is because if you look at some of these places in their war zone map, they're all Ukrainian. They're all other Ukrainian landmarks. And why do you say, well, that doesn't really mean anything, right? Well, if you're trying to remember a map, you're trying to remember the layout of a map, which is in like a battle royale mode, that's very important to remember where you are. Almost everything from Verdansk in the Warzone map, which was the first map that they had, was based off Ukrainian landmarks. The stadium, the supermarket, wherever you want to call it, all of that is from Ukraine. It's lift straight from reality. So I believe we've been trained subconsciously to fight the Russians at some point. I do believe we've at that point. And at the same time, Greater Russia, the concept that what the Perseus characters wanted in Call of Duty Black Ops. Greater Russia is Eurasianism. That is what Dugin's all about. So I believe that we're living in interesting times, and it may very well get to the point where some of us might have to go to the Pacific, some of us might have to go to fight the Eurasians. I honestly want to go fight both people, because I'm at the point where I'm wondering, how awesome am I? So then with that, Luke, do you have any final thoughts? Because we're about to wrap it up here.
Just this clip.
Citizens of Earth, lend me your ears and listen to me very carefully. My name is Dr. Eggman, the world's greatest scientist, and soon to be the world's greatest ruler.
Ladies and gentlemen, be good to one another. Take care of one another. Remember, saving the West is a side quest. This is Renegade.